video. Here we go. It starts in 3, 2, 1.
A little late for prayer, isn't it?
Do I seem so desperate as to grovel at the feet of a false god? I was waiting for you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Core. This is Core talking video games and everything around them for June 23rd, 2023. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger. It's nice to be back, everybody. I saw something funny, or heard something funny, and thought you guys would enjoy it. I was at the store, a local Target, a Target, as dumb people say it. I hate it when they say that. But I'm at I don't know why I brought it up. I was at a Target, walking around looking for something, and I heard an old couple. Very nice looking, old couple hanging out together. It's very sweet. Just talking.
Attractive.
Yeah, attractive old couple. Like, hey, baby. No, more like,
you're not into swinging, but if they were down.
They just looked healthy and happy to be with each other, and there was just a vibe about them. And they were hanging out in this part of the store. And I'm walking past, and I couldn't help but overhear the following conversation, which was them talking about when Starfield was coming out, and whether or not they had re-upped their Game Pass, or if they should save it, or just re-up right before. But basically, they were talking about getting Starfield, making sure Game Pass was all set when they got the game. Didn't expect it, and I'm not saying that every stereotype is true, but I don't see a whole lot of 70-plussers out there worried about how they're getting Starfield on their computer or their console. And here these two are like,
I mean, that generation might still like Trek, and Starfield's kind of Trek adjacent. You think they're regular gamers, or you think they're finally getting their
that's what I thought.
Video game?
That's what I thought. I thought about that, but the way they were talking about it led me to think they had some knowledge about it that was more than just passing knowledge. Like they seem to be, well, if we make sure to resubscribe to Game Pass, it'll be there day one. This sort of conversation. And it was just kind of threw me. I may as well be listening to some 25-year-old guy talk to his girlfriend. But no, they were like 70, easily 75 probably, these people.
You should have gone right up behind them and just leaned in and been like, "What's up, gamers?" Just see how they reacted.
What do you think they would have? What do you think the reaction would have been?
I don't know. That's why I wanted.
Well, they're older.
There's only one way to find out.
I think when you're that age, you love when people engage. That's why younger people avoid older people. They
don't want.
It's different when it's like younger. You're like worried people think you're weird, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you like I see somebody with a Primus T-shirt. I like Primus. Like I'm gonna go say hi. You're like, no, it's weird,
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like 80 and you're rocking a Primus shirt, and someone comes up to you, like, I love Primus. You're like, oh, well, let me tell you about the time I saw them live in concert. Like you will get engaged, in conversation, and that might not be a bad thing. But, you might have had some instinct in that regard.
That's true. I was so blown away by it, I didn't know what to say. And I even went to Kim, and then I realized talking to her, I'm like, I don't know how to explain to her what I just witnessed, because she doesn't care. She doesn't care about Starfield. She has no interest in it and no knowledge of it when it's coming or any of that. She knows I've got whatever that is taken care of. So even her, I'm not going to have a normal conversation with her about it. My kids would barely care because it's not exactly on their radar either. I don't know who this game's for, but it's not for them so much.
People who like hard SF, like it just screams like, do you read Isaac Asimov?
Yeah.
Do you like
do you like Dune? Shit. Do you like I don't know what else is from there?
Yeah, I mean, have you read Frank Herbert? That's such a special sci-fi taste. I'm thinking more of like Foundation novels.
Oh yeah, iRobot and all that.
Do you like Arthur C. Clarke?
Yeah,
like some real some like hard SF authors. I mean, Isaac Asimov is the quintessential hard SF, but there's tons of others. I feel ashamed that I can't think of any in this moment.
Yeah,
but
But also 20 years ago, they could have really been into Bethesda titles. Now that I think about it, like a 70-year-old now is just, they're 20 years away from what, 2003, sorry? There was a lot of shit going on there, and they were, what, that made them 50 then? They may have been all into it. I don't know. I got to quit assuming things. That was the lesson. I walked away from this going, I shouldn't assume things about anybody. based on.
I mean, generally speaking, well, no, the average adult, or not adult, the average person, adult of an age, doesn't engage with things that they perceive as like beneath their age.
Yeah.
Right, games, that's for kids, but there's exceptions, right? And
always
like,
exceptions.
that's always been my case too. I'm like, pretty much know, I know who. Oh shit, I'm gonna embarrass myself now.
Say it. Do it.
No, because my brain is not working too well, and I can't think of the names at the moment. That's the problem.
Oh shoot!
I'm suffering from boomer brain at the moment.
Yeah,
but like I know young bands and stuff. Hello, my fellow kids, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I'm watching skateboarding videos.
Mm. I get that all the time. People,
you know who Lil Pump is? There you go.
You know what's funny is my kids they're not surprised at all because it's always been this way. But if somebody hears I'm really, did you hear the new Post Malone track? And they go, you listen to Post Malone? I'm like, yeah, it's great. There's nothing wrong with him. Like, maybe we are finally getting to a singularity moment in culture where everybody can stop worrying so much about gatekeeping their generation's thing that they don't think.
I want to say you're in a biased group amongst biased people, because like Mike and Crofton have no idea what the hell's going on, and they're like the best of the people I know in my peer group.
Yeah, Crofton
like, I can't keep up with what the kids do. I realize it's just like it's not their interest, but it's an intellectual laziness.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I'll get asked, how do you know these things from people, outside the internet sphere? I feel like the internet sphere might be in tune with things, but outside the internet sphere, they let the world just pass them on by. They do not care.
I guess so. I have a thing. I have a weird thing, and then we'll move on. But I have this thing where I don't really care to find out what Lil Wayne's music is like.
Oh, but you're missing out. Lil Wayne's a legend.
But I'm fascinated by his dental work. That stuff gets me every time I see him. So I have no doubt that he's like a genius rapper, hip hop genius artist. I have no doubt. He's all the things everybody says. But whenever I see him, I just go, man, I need to know about your mouth and how that all worked out. How'd this all happen in there?
I mean, I wouldn't call him a genius, but his music's pretty fire. It's lit, as the kids say.
Is it lit? Okay. All right.
I mean, he's kind of a boomer too, honestly. He's an old rapper. He just looks kind of young, but like he's been around for a while.
Oh, I thought he just had a rough.
I wouldn't consider it like young kids probably know, but I think he's not part of a young generation of rappers. He's over 30, I'm sure, if not in the late 30s. So,
all right,
yeah,
shows what I know.
He said that real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Holy shit! I haven't heard that since Mom Spaghetti and Eminem. That's crazy. All right, John has been conspicuously silent during our rapper talk. John, you have any thoughts about the current state of mumble rap or anything like that?
No, I just know the things I like, and I don't really worry about pursuing beyond that. And yeah, I here's the thing I've realized ever since becoming a dad and a stepdad.
Yeah,
there is no catching up.
Yeah,
you're never going to actually be on top of it, like, because kids in general are going to gravitate. It's like two wrong-facing magnets. As soon as you start to show that you are in the know, the kids are going to get pushed somewhere else. It's just going to be a never-ending chase. So I'm not going to chase it. They can tell me about the stuff they want to tell me about, and I'll like the things I like, and I won't like the things I don't like, and it just, it is what it is.
Everybody should go on Twitter and tell Crofton he's behind the times on everything, just to get a reaction out of him. Because I actually agree. I agree with John. I think John makes a good point. I think Bo makes a good point, but I think teasing Crofton is really the lesson here. So
Crofton's catching strays.
Yeah.
It is true, though. It is true.
It.
He was asking me how to start a podcast the other day.
Oh,
He's
he
like,
was?
What's all the things you need to know? And I'm like, listen, you're gonna have to do some research on your own.
Yeah, it takes a little work.
That's the joke on the show. Is just like, thank you, Bo, for doing things, because I don't know how to do it.
Is he feeling buoyed up in his media exposure now because of all that stuff?
I think he just wants to do it for the enjoyment. The real thing is we're trying to push him to do stand up.
Oh,
I think we went to an open mic on Monday just to like encourage him. He didn't go up, but you got to start going. I'm just like, keep telling him, you got to go. You got to go every week.
He's
go every week, and then eventually
he's a natural. He's good at it.
He could do it, but he's when you're filled with anxiety and you won't rip the Band-Aid off, and it's like going in the pool. It's like, just jump in the damn pool.
Yeah,
like shut up.
I had a friend like that. He was like,
pool.
I want to be a stand-up comedian. I was like, you ever go to an open mic night? No. I was like, well, there's step luck. One. Till you do it, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah,
that's where they all go. On and go. And so we all went. We had a good time. But Yeah, start going.
Did you get up,
Be
Bo?
part
Did you
of
get
it.
up and do any bits? You got any material? You got up and
No. I don't think I want to be a comedian. Pretty sure it's not my bag.
Well, you make me laugh sometimes, so that's
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be funny, but the thing about a comedian is like you're only going up there to be funny.
right. That's it.
Like if I go up there and I want to tell you just about like some opinion I have, like I can do here. Everyone's gonna be like, I pay for comedies. Boo! You know, like I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I have the discipline. It was the same realization I had with acting. Speaking of acting, by the way, if there's an agent out there looking for supreme talent, John might be interested.
John's your guy. Yeah.
We're just throwing this into the show now,
Yeah.
arbitrarily.
No context. Yep.
Yeah, but you know, I was like, oh, acting seems like fun. It's like so cool to be on stage and everyone loves you, and then you realize everyone's going to tell you how to say your lines.
Yep.
Everyone's going to tell you what to say. You're just like some puppet. And for some people, that's an art. For me, I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this at all.
You don't want to be a puppet. You could be a director, though, or something like that.
Just, you know, and then you do it every day. Like if you're doing a theater run, well, that's all you're saying for the next 5 weeks. And I'm like,
because David Mamet, your favorite dude, he's a puppeteer, is what he is.
Yeah.
Right? He's the one telling the puppets what to do and what to say and how to say it. That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, it's fun. The writer, whether it's David Mamet or Shakespeare or whoever it is, they write the lines.
Yeah.
Like it's great. I love going to the theater. I love watching movies.
Yeah.
But acting is not for me.
You don't want to do it.
It's like memorize lines, say the same lines over and over again. It's like it seems glamorous, but having tried it a bit, you know, during my midlife retirement, I realized I'm like, I don't like this very much.
Yeah, but that's
I
how
like
you
being
get
on stage and being a center of attention.
Yeah.
I don't like the whole like say the lines in the way the director wants you to say them, and I don't enjoy the exploration of finding the character. You know, that kind of
Sure.
D&D is perfect because like improv is great. I do improv all day, for example.
Yeah.
But you know.
Different deal.
Not
different animal. Yeah.
The D&D is fun, improv's fun, but not. Don't tell me what lines to say.
There you go. No, whose line
Sorry,
is
I
it
don't know.
anyway? Nobody's. Not here. Not on this show. We don't.
All that
act.
to say, we have to call it here. Like Crofton needs to get on stage. We need to record it and share it, maybe. Or
I'd
something
love
like
it
that.
if he did. He's a funny dude and
Yeah.
would be great
Yeah.
if he did that. That'd be awesome. And he's had some exposure now on the news and stuff with that teacher strike thing. So he should
That's
do
probably
it.
what set it all off. He was like, he got a taste of the limelight.
No, he's been wanting to do
wants
this
to
for
be in
years.
Yeah.
He likes the limelight. Like he even contemplated because the strike was settled, and he contemplated voting the other way so he could be on the show more, just because he voted. He voted, you know, like as a contrarian.
See, that's funny because he would have already done interviews saying how he felt the other way, and then he would have flipped, and then it would have caused more news to cover him, and
Like
then he could have said,
I asked him, I'm like, you must be feeling depressed right now. You're not in TV or the radio anymore. He's like, yeah, I've been pretty bummed.
He's a funny guy. All right. Well, if he hears this, Crofton, get up on stage there, buddy. Get on there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all good and well, but we got to talk about this. Hey, Nintendo fans, get excited. We're going to talk about the Direct this week as our main topic, and we're all excited. Or at least I know I'm excited. I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I'm really excited. I know John's excited about one of these things, but I'm excited about kind of both of them. It's been a bit since Nintendo gave proper Mario any sort of due. Not really since Odyssey. Everything else has either been an offshoot of some sort, like the soccer game, Strikers 2. What else? The tennis game. You know, they're always talking about the Smash Brothers and all that. But those are all non-mainline Mario games. And the last 2.5D side-scrolling Mario game that we got was a Wii U port for New Super Mario Bros. U, which is a great game, but that's on Switch. Other than that, it's Odyssey or nothing. And I think that's a bummer. There's been some other stuff, Paper Mario game, one of those. What else? A few other things, but no mainline platforming-ass 2D Mario game. And they announced one. But before we get to that, they're talking about a remake that I think is probably the one that most of us at this table are going to be interested in, and that is a remake of Super Mario RPG. One of, if not the best, well, for a lot of people, one of the best, if not the best, Super Nintendo title to hit the 16-bit console back in the day. It was made by Square, published by Nintendo. And the fact that Square and Nintendo worked together on a thing was a huge deal then. I don't think Square's got anything to do with this remake. As far as I can tell, they didn't announce that anyway.
I mean, I'm sure they had to have some hand in it rights-wise, but
right.
Yeah, it could be.
Probably. I assume so. I mean, I don't know if they hired him just to contract gameplay and that's all they get, or I don't know how that worked. But this looks fantastic. And John, as our resident, in fact, I think you're the one that probably even played this most recently because you streamed a run of the game not too long ago.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when you heard about this?
I'm so excited for this. Super Mario RPG is one of my favorite, I mean, it's like top 5 easily RPGs on the Super Nintendo. It's in one of my favorite SNES games of all time. I absolutely adore this game. The music is amazing. It's got a lot of comedy. One of my favorite things, this is where I fell in love with Bowser as a character. Like, I think Bowser is great. I've liked Bowser for a long time. And this is where that comes from, because this is not like, oh, just took the princess Bowser. This is a like depressed, humbled Bowser that's willing to join up with Mario because his life has just gone so downhill. And it's kind of the start of that. We're going to have fun and do interesting things with him besides just he kidnapped the princess.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this story. It's so weird. The things that Mario does in this game, like everybody is just baffled by how a human being can jump the way he jumps. Like that's a whole plot device throughout the entire story. They're like, you couldn't be the Mario, could you? And then you jump and they're like, oh my gosh, it's Mario. Like the people recognize him more by his ability to jump than how he dresses. Mario can strangely turn into other characters when he's impersonating them to tell a story because he's a silent protagonist in this.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the humor in it's really good. It's got a Power Rangers reference, which of course will be very timely. Power Rangers still extremely relevant. So humor is great. It's a solid RPG. I mean, it was one of the first games that I played where it was turn-based, but they added this kind of active element where if you press the button at the right time, you would do bonus damage or you would take less damage. You could do it aggressively and defensively. And it was a really kind of, they didn't make a big deal out of it, but it was a bit of a game changer. Like it felt like you were participating more in the battles while it was still technically this turn-based battle system. And I think it's great. It's got one of the best soundtracks too.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's got that going for it.
It's an incredible game. It's also, I feel like in a lot of ways it was not training wheels, but it was some people's first turn-based JRPG kind of experience in a more broad way, because this is freaking Mario. It's like, hey, Mario's in this. This is for everybody. This isn't some obscure, Japanese game you've never heard of. It's Mario, and I think that helped a lot of people. But also, you mentioned like the real time, the ability to affect blocking and or additional damage by hitting buttons at the right time and all that stuff. Does Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi Super Saga or any of that stuff even exist without some of that? Because those series use that same stuff to really great effect. And I'm not sure they exist without this. This is like a huge deal.
No, every one of those say, a spiritual successor to this game. And for a while, I was actually really slow to get into the Paper Mario stuff because to me, I just always wanted a sequel to this.
Right.
I that's what I wanted. I didn't want a spiritual successor in that, oh, we kind of made an RPG. I wanted them to just do more of these games with these characters and continue off this story. But yeah, I think it influenced those. Anybody that's played those games that came later, this is where all that DNA came from. So I think this is going to be really neat. It's going to be fun to watch people kind of encounter it for the first time. It looks like they're staying really faithful to it, but it also looks like they might be doing some cutscenes because there's certainly in that intro, there was a bunch of stuff that was like rendered differently. Like normally it would just be, you'd be watching the sprites do their thing. And in this, there were cinematic camera angles and stuff like that. So it looks like they might be doing some really cool stuff with it while staying very true to it. If I had one request, if there's only one thing that I wish they would change and put in this game. There have been rumors forever that he was in it and cut, but that Luigi was originally planned to be in the first Super Mario RPG. Even if it's just a recolor of Mario, It's time. Put Luigi back.
Put Luigi in. Okay. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Isn't that the thing you do at Nintendo? If you're going to redo something or make something new, you're like, and you might see Luigi in the game. It's just, they love doing that. So why not? Must be a good game for that. Bo, do you have any experience with this game? It's awesome.
I definitely played Paper Mario on Super Nintendo, and I remember liking it a lot. And it's a neat. I was watching the trailer. I hadn't seen it till you showed it on the video stream on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just look for Scott Johnson on YouTube. You'll find our live show there if you're listening.
Yeah.
And it's this looks charming, looks interesting. Might be a pickup. Maybe. I mean, it's a nostalgia that doesn't hit as strong for me. I'm like, oh, I remember that. That's great. I don't know if it's going to turn into a purchase, but looks cool.
I bet you this game's $59. That's my only real beef about it. I don't know that for sure until they say, but that's the new standard for the mid-tier remake, lower tier price, and then big new things are $69. I can't see Nintendo selling this for $49 or less. So that's the only thing I'm bummed about, is I just know it's going to be really expensive. But I don't know, maybe it'll be totally worth it, and I'll dust off my Switch for this.
It will be a tempting pick-up on sale game.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I will try and find my Switch for this, which I'm sure just made a lot of Zelda fans very angry. They're like, you wouldn't look for it for Zelda, but you'll go look for it for a remake of a game you already played? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're not getting turn-based action in your Final Fantasies anymore. You need to get it from somewhere.
You got to get it someplace.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You're either going to play another Final Fantasy game or an old Square Mario game. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to get it. I'm really excited about it. This is a huge deal to me, and I think this is a game I will get. It comes out in October. And no one knew about it until the Direct. There was a couple of rumors that day, but prior to that, nobody was talking about it. So that's
everybody was. I will say there was a lot of hype around this, and the other big one I saw a lot was Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
which was not talked about. We'll have to see if they ever do that. It does still feel weird to me that Chrono Trigger. Literally, anytime there's a hint that they're doing something with Chrono Trigger, when it came to Steam, it like immediately skyrockets to trending on Twitter, and everybody's just so excited about it. And yet Square Enix still kind of seems to pretend like that game never existed.
They're so weird. They're so weird about that game. The whole world thinks it's the greatest JRPG ever made, period. Like, it's always the consensus. They take everything new and old, and that one ends up at the very top. And they act like it doesn't exist.
You think that those kind of points to maybe a rights issue? I guess
could be, but they still work with those guys. They still all work with each other and stuff. Like they used what's his name's art again and direction for Dragon Age 11 or Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest. I keep doing that. Dragon Quest 11, and that did really well. I don't think, as far as I know, there's nothing like that. I don't know what their problem is. I think it's really, really, really weird. I was actually going to ask you, John, because I almost bought it today. I almost pulled the trigger on it. Is the version on Steam still bad?
It's better.
Okay.
It's
because the reviews have been really good on there since something changed, and I don't know what that was.
It's probably the second best version of the game that you can get, and it's close. I don't like the UI. It's better than what it was. The UI is still a little weird to me, but I got used to it and I got over it. But it has the updated translation, which is really good. It has the bonus content, which is really good. The anime cutscenes are in there, which they're hit and miss. They're nothing amazing, but it's not bad to have. Yeah. It basically has everything, but the UI does lose a little something. And at a higher resolution, the classic art looks a little weird and a little fuzzy, and they did kind of like a remastered pass with it. And that looks really good on the character sprites. Like, you look at the character sprites and you go, oh my gosh, I'm gonna play as this. This is awesome. And then you get into the open world and you're like, oh, this looks ugly. Something is broken. Something is broken and bad and has gone terribly wrong. So I don't like either art style 100% on it. I think
Ambernick, right?
It desperately, the Ambernick would be a good place.
I'm playing it. I have it on there, and I've been considering a whole fresh, hot start on that again. And I
The
think
thing that's best about the PC and the best version, which is the Nintendo DS version, is the retranslation. Chrono Trigger was notoriously translated very quickly, and there were a lot of things that were kidified for coming to America on a Nintendo console that don't make a lot of sense. People getting drunk off soda pop and like things that just don't make a ton of sense when you think about it. Which, you know, some people might find charming. I was always a little confused as a kid. I'm like, why did they drink soup and all pass out? What happened?
that is
And
weird.
it's a very weird translation. The retranslation is really, really good. And it has some tie-ins to Chrono Cross and stuff in there in the DS version. So if you can play any version, the DS version's best. I would say then PC second best, or just playing the original SNES if you have access to it. Also very good and very high up there because it's going to look right.
Right. Well, there's that. So they talked about that. Very exciting. They didn't call it remake, by the way. It is obviously a complete remake. There's no other way to describe what we're seeing, but they're just calling it Super Mario RPG. So
yeah,
kinda,
throw a year after it. Someone will remember what year.
I guess so.
I mean, Doom did it, right?
Doom did it.
Yeah.
Doom 2016. We call it 2016, but it's just called Doom. That's the
But Doom wasn't a straight remake of Doom 1 from 92. It was like a whole new game, right? Whereas this is literally a remake of the game, the story, the music,
Although it seems like they're going to be adding cutscenes, and I think they'll, you know, I don't think it's a strictly just up-res. Like, there's probably going to be unique things. That's, I don't remember, so I couldn't tell you for sure, but that's the impression I got.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So that's coming this fall. Also, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is the other trailer they showed and talked about. This is a proper side-scrolling 2.5D, I would call it, Super Mario game. And you might at first glance go, oh, this looks a lot like the new Super Mario Brothers games that came out on the Wii and then later the Wii U and Switch and 3DS have kind of gone with this style and everything else. But it's different. The art style is a change, and some people don't like it. I think it looks freaking great.
I think it looks astronomically better than new Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And there's going to be people that think that's sacrilege, but I didn't play a lot of those new Super Mario Brothers games because it just felt like it lost some of the personality with what it became, and I can't find a better way to explain it than that. Like, it looked amazing. Every time I saw the character models and all that, I'm like, oh, it looks so good. But it felt like there was something lost, like a level of charm that this feels like it's getting back.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I've had a hard time putting it in words until this moment, because it is just, it's clearly Mario. You don't look at it and go, oh, I wonder if this is a Mario game. It absolutely is a Mario game. But they've adopted some stylistic choices here on character design and the way he runs and the way he jumps and the way it's animated. It just feels like somebody had some cool ideas and they're trying some shit that's new. And I'm kind of all for it here. I'm actually really excited. Yeah.
I feel like there's a point in everybody's life where they get old enough to go, wait a minute, you're telling me that this guy eats mushrooms and gets big? Whoa. And they get they're like, they get it. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, everybody makes the little drug analogy with Mario. But now he eats flower seeds.
Yeah.
And the world goes batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You can't even hide that Mario is like a weird analogy for doing drugs anymore. It's just spot on. He's just really extra wearing it on his sleeve.
Oh, yeah. This one's like extra psychedelic for sure.
Yeah, it is. The tubes start turning into worms and inching around.
I can't think of a Mario. Like, I know Mario's full of creativity and colors and wonder, as this is called, but this looks really extra cracked out.
Yeah, I agree. I think the leaning into it is a really fun idea. Also, he turns into an elephant. And
actually, like, you do notice, the elephant thing. Isn't the elephants like from Dumbo, the pink elephant? I don't know if Dumbo was doing.
It's that style, yeah, kind of, you know.
But yeah, like at first the art style was a little bit like, ooh, this looks a little weird. But then as I see all the psychedelic shit, I'm like, oh no, this is like really well done. Like, I think anyone feeling a way about it should like try it first. That's what this tells me when I watch the trailer. It looks really
Yeah.
It actually looks pretty sick.
It looks really, really good. I'm excited about this one. Just I like the classic gameplay of the 2D side scroller Mario's. Anyway, I like the 3D stuff too, but like I say, it's just been a bit. The last one we got again was a port from a Wii U game that nobody played when no one bought a Wii U. So it's been a while, and I'd like a fresh take. I like the weird psychedelic stuff, and I want to be an elephant for a little while with the Mario hat on.
I think the use of the word fresh is kind of appropriate. It does feel like it's the genre, but it's fresh.
Yeah, fresh new take.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, both of them are coming October. I thought one of them was November, but they're both saying October now. So maybe I had November in my head and I was wrong. But I think you're getting them both then. Quick side note: no sign of Metroid Prime 4 at all. They keep bringing this thing. Well, they don't bring it up. They brought it up once, and then they never said anything about it again. Those bastards. So I don't know what that means, except I'm not holding my breath for Metroid Prime 4 anymore. I used to. I don't now.
Don't hold your breath. No, don't hold your breath.
Next console, maybe. You know?
Although I feel like people are hearing that and saying, oh, John says it's not coming out. I just mean don't literally hold your breath.
Yeah, you'll die. You don't want
You'll
people
die.
to die. Yeah, John's trying to help you, people. He's not trying to cause you pain. He's trying to help you
Metroid
survive.
Prime would be a real good new system seller.
Agreed.
Or Christmas seller.
Yeah, but so what
It's a little
year,
early
though?
for that.
But we're like 5 years since they announced it, something like that. It's starting to feel like vapor. So I don't know. They do this sometimes, right? They wait. Twilight Princess is supposed to be a GameCube game, and it was, but it also launched the Wii.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
I feel
that was
like there's
that?
always that, like, yes, you're right. There's always a notorious, like, end of platform life game that comes out right at the end and ends up going on both consoles. And I can see Metroid being that.
And
title
Breath of the
for
Wild, same thing. Breath of the Wild was supposed to be a Wii U game, and they ended up coming out on both. There is a Wii U version of Breath of the Wild out there because they launched them simultaneously. They did the exact same thing, generation over generation. I mean, it's not normally Metroid, but I have a feeling that, first of all, I have a prediction. Next year is when they announce a new console.
Whoa.
Yep. And the year after
guess
that,
it's time,
it launches.
right?
Yeah. I think, well, it is time because 2017's been a bit, right? It's been, how many years is that now? I can't think. I can't do the math. 8 years?
6 years.
6 years?
23 to 17. March 3, 2017.
6?
6? Wait, hold on. 17,
Yeah.
18, 19, 20, 21.
10 minus 7 is 3, and then we're 2023, so 3 plus 3 is
6
6.
years, you're right. Look at you, math. Man.
What's the average of a console lifespan?
10 year, or no, sorry. 5
It's got to be less than 10 years,
Isn't
yeah.
it like 5 to 8 or something? Or, well, okay.
Damn.
2013 for the PS4 and Xbox One. 2020 for the new consoles. So that was 7 years.
Everyone's saying 6, so the average might be 6.
Yeah. And
So
then
we're due.
We're due.
We're due.
I'd love it.
Even if it's just Switch 2, like just an I don't see what kind of experimental thing they do that kind of trumps what they do, like they have, especially.
Bless you. Bless you, Bo Schwartz. Did you guys hear that?
Gosh.
Man.
That was a long build-up, and I was like, is he going to mute for it?
I was trying. That's what I was holding for. I was looking for my mute button.
It's hard when you have to sneeze. You can't find it as easy. I've done
Well, I
that.
put my Discord on the second. It's a lot of real estate between where my mouse was and the button, and I missed. I clicked something, but it wasn't the mute button.
Sure. Where were you
I
headed
think
with that?
I think I've said it before, so I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything. But I think with the popularity of Steam Deck, I think they just do Switch 2.
Yeah.
Like better stuff, better buttons, better screen, better store, please.
Please, better
maybe
store. Yeah.
Better CPU and stuff in there. Would not complain.
Yeah.
But I don't think they need to do like you wear this console on your head this time. Like it's just it projects to the TV or the wall from your head.
I'm with you 100%. Do not try to overthink it. Just make a good follow-up to the Switch.
Just make a better Steam Deck, basically, and keep the library. Holy shit!
Yeah, let me play
if
the
you
Switch
make everyone
games.
buy everything again.
Yep. And blow our minds. Have Breath of the Wild have a performance patch, and suddenly it's running at 60 consistently on the new one. Like, dude, some of those things would really go a long way to
Put a
make
big picture of
people
me up on there and say, like, look at these haters. We're gonna make a console that even they'll love.
I can't wait to talk about frame rate later with Final Fantasy because I got some bad news for Sony people. All right, moving on. There's just a little tease. Just a little tease.
People really liked our frame rate conversation.
They sure did, didn't they? I don't know if they did or not. I don't think they did. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here's this. Let's get to what we played. Oh, I forgot the Patreon thing. Hold on. Why did I miss that? Oh, I put it in the wrong place. That's why. That's what I meant to push. Hey, we got a patron message. This is from Taz. We all love Taz. Taz is great.
Oh, we love our patrons. Yeah, Taz.
Oh,
he made the magazine.
I do also super love Taz because he made the magazine. He's done a lot of art assets for Frog Wrestling without me even asking. Just send them to me.
Yeah, he's just freaking great, and he's even pinged me about maybe helping me with some video stuff. The guy's just awesome, and we love him. He wrote in and says, which game or franchise do you guys would you guys like to have a new or different developer on? Thanks, Taz. I thought a lot about this. Like, what dev do you love that you'd like to see do a game that maybe isn't theirs? And for me, it would probably be oh, now I've forgotten what I had. I had it in my head. I got this question. John, do you have one that popped into your head while I sat here and struggled to capture my thought that I had?
I don't know. I want to do the sarcastic, smartass answer of give all the Blizzard properties to developers who will actually make video games.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know.
I don't know if that's my actual answer, but I definitely feel it in my heart. There's a, but what if you guys actually made video games?
For me, it would be let Nintendo make a Sonic game. And I mean a proper Sonic game,
good.
not Mario and Sonic at the Olympics or any of that BS. I mean like a straight Sonic the Hedgehog game. Have the Mario team or somebody like them who knows, platforming better than anybody, make us one of those. And I may crone a bit because Sonic Superstars, I think is the name of the new one coming out. That looks really good. That looks like, it looks really good. I don't know how it plays yet. So maybe that'll be all I'd ever need. But there's this age-old, like, console wars of old sort of thing where I want to see one company make the other, and I want to see what Sega's Sonic looks like in the hands of Nintendo. So there's mine. I like your Blizzard one, though. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I do wish
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a non-Nintendo, and I know technically Metroid Prime does fall into this, but like I would like to see like Capcom's Resident Evil team do a Metroid. Like go full survival horror with Metroid.
Oh, that sounds actually pretty interesting because they would keep it in the vein of what Metroid is. I like that actually a lot. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Bo, anything you want?
Interesting question, but I can't think of too much. The only thing that comes to mind is maybe we get someone other than Wizards to work on D&D.
Why not? I say sure.
I'm not. Given my preference for the TSR days, not that maybe those are great days, whatever, without wading into the whole thing, but definitely aesthetically and stuff. I'm just, it just needs. We'll see what they do with 5.5 or 1, as they're calling it.
Oh, is that still?
But,
they've stuck to that.
I've remained pretty skeptical. I think the current direction's like just kind of okay.
It's been quiet on that front. Have we heard anything new or anything happened since we last talked about it?
No, nothing. I did see the D&D movie finally, though.
It's fun, right? Did you like it?
No, not really.
Oh, I'm surprised to hear this. I had a great time with that movie.
I mean, it's like a great time movie, but like
not a great time for Bo.
Well, it's just, I mean, the villain is Hugh Grant, who just steals the guy's daughter.
Well, not really. He was the the useful tool in the hands of the actual villain, right?
Who's like here they're red wizards. They make the undead. That one's bad. That's all I know about it. Like it was a great ad for D&D, I guess, but it was not that good in my opinion. I did not enjoy it very much. It was okay.
I didn't
have a bad time.
Yeah,
but I'm not like I'm never gonna watch it again. like it wasn't great or good. You know, they definitely. I mean, I like the Warcraft movie better than this movie by a long shot. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like,
is it because
That
it didn't
is
take
insane.
That is insane. But is it?
Bo,
is it
you are an insane person. But I just
Warcraft
remembered how much you love the prequels, so it's fine.
Warcraft is very memorable. It has very good cinematic, memorable
it
moments.
isn't.
Even if the ending, the opening up to the title card is like beautiful.
I couldn't even tell you what it
Duncan
is.
Jones did a great job with as best he could with that movie. There's problems, but it's the D&D movie was like pretty like mid, I would say.
Wow.
Like wasn't bad, wasn't good. It was I was like, man, people really hyped this thing up. I did not think I don't want to say anything bad about it. It was watchable.
Did you want a more self-serious take on the whole thing? Is that what you were aiming for? Because this was obviously
it just didn't have anything interesting going on in there. That's what I mean. It's like okay.
I got a question. Did getting to level 100 in Diablo rob you of your sense to feel joy?
Yeah. Maybe. That's entirely possible. I saw it
Have
after.
you been happy ever since that moment?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think so, but no. We watched. I was like, made an effort to finally D&D movie was gonna be great. And I was just
didn't do it.
I didn't. I just. It was just like every other movie like that. You know, like let's make wisecracks and let's put the marketing products in here. Didn't care for the fat dragon. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. If like there was a town whose food went missing, and then it was like, what's like if it was a punchline to something, it's like, oh, it's a fat dragon. He's got goblin horde taking the. It was just no, fat's funny. Here's a random dragon, and he's fat, and it's like, it was just like so like committee. You know, we made this in a committee table, and we test marketed what people like, and you know, it was made by Hasbro. It wasn't made by somebody I think who had something awesome behind it, in my opinion.
That seems totally wrong to me. But that's
well, I mean, it's just taste. I didn't enjoy it. What do you want me to do? You know,
it's fair point. It's fair point. The fat dragon, as pointed out by Dr. Tolbert in the chat, is I think he's some lore dragon, right? He's in some book thing. He's part of the.
Could be. They didn't explain shit in the movie.
I mean, you never know with internet stories, but I had heard that the fat dragon was something that the filmmakers had to fight for. Wizards did not actually want the fat dragon in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And these are guys that play. They have a regular game. Jonathan is a character that what's his name plays. The director, I can't think of his name. The guy that was in Freaks and Geeks, can't think of his name. Anyway, his character in D&D is Jonathan, and he.
Hang on, I think people are misunderstanding me. I don't not like the fat dragon. It had nothing. It was random. Is the point? It was everything was random in that movie. And if you recognize it because you read some R.A. Salvatore or whatever, then great. You know, but like it was not good. Like it was just not that good. There's no compelling villain, and it was Chris Pine's character was weird. He's a family man, loves his daughter, but also he's a scoundrel. Like what? Like that?
And scoundrels are notorious for hating their daughters. They
hate
weird.
their kids. They just hate them.
Just but you know the way
that
scoundrel.
You know the way the movie's you know the way the movie's presented. It just felt like I don't know. It just made no sense. And it didn't even have the wink, wink. They're like players playing. There was like none of that. That's implied. There was none of that really in the movie. And I don't know. I just didn't enjoy it. I thought could have done way better.
I thought you would end up liking.
It was better than what came before. If you're looking at it like,
well, yeah,
like the absolute shite that came before it, then yeah, you're gonna think this movie's pretty good. But I don't.
Did you didn't even like the fact that the sorcerer was basically Nash effing up every spell he ever did? You didn't even like that part. Right?
Oh, the young lad?
Yeah, the little sorcerer guy who kept effing up all his spells. He kept. He was a shit wizard.
I thought the actors was okay. I like Michelle Rodriguez. Like I wouldn't blame the performers on anything. I think the set design and costumes are fantastic. Like there's a lot to say. Like great job, but the movie itself was boring. It sucked.
I'm so surprised
it was
by
like
this.
Kind of mid. It sucked is too strong, but like you know, I was definitely like. I can't believe how unexcited I am after having watched that. But maybe it's a victim of hype. I just know I'm not going to watch it.
Might
again.
be a DGM thing. Maybe GMs don't.
But I'll
like
watch Warcraft again for sure.
I don't know. I heard Kyle. I heard from Kyle, who was one of the ones that I was really curious about, because Kyle has some of the most bizarre tastes of any human being on the planet, and I know he listens to Core, so he will hear that.
Yeah.
I think that's part of Kyle's charm. I
Right.
like that he exists on a different spectrum, and he saw it, and he really loved
okay.
it.
So it's not just GMs.
It's not just GMs. I think, Bo, have you tasted a strawberry since you got to level 100 in Diablo?
No, I mean I've seen a good movie since Diablo. Like Guardians 3 was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like Guardians 3.
Yeah. Well, look, it's all
like I don't need movies to be amazing.
Right.
I'm not that kind of a film critic. I like Michael Bay Transformers, like, because it's a good time.
Oh.
I thought this movie was like kind of just mid. It was not good. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell people.
Have you
seen? Liked it? You liked it. I don't know. I won't take that away from you.
Have you seen that new Transformers? I'd be curious about your take.
No, but I'm sure it's like kind of terrible, but still good because it's Transformers.
Well, I'm excited because Beast Wars is cool, and I don't even care what the reviewers say. I still want to see it. So
sure.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm in. Like again, I wish they'd had. It's another one I wish Hasbro would treat better on the movie side. Like, as much as I like the Transformers movies, like,
yeah,
they kind of, the Bay era definitely massacred the franchise for sure.
Yeah.
And Bumblebee seemed to be giving hope that we'd be returning to G1. That's why this new Rise of the Beast is seems like G1
sort of
ish. Yeah, and so I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But
it's set.
There's some weirdness there. They're messing with Wheeljack or something like that.
Well, it's set in 1994 as the year, and it is in universe with Bumblebee, the Bumblebee movie. That's all I know about it. So I don't know what the Wheeljack
but the
deal
weirdness
is.
was I think there's a Mirage character that they're calling Wheeljack, or Wheeljack doesn't look quite like Wheeljack. I don't know. Somebody gets an idea in their head, they're going to take artistic license in a way that it's just
yeah. I don't mind them redesigning.
I'll still see it,
I don't mind them redesigning these characters. I just don't like it when they change, when they bring somebody in that was never there, because they're like, hey, we got. I don't know. I forget who's even in it. Oh, Pete Davidson's in it. He plays the Mirage character thing, and I don't like it when they're like, "Hey, we're going to build a character around the casting." Like, I'd rather them just make a good character.
Did.
Yeah,
I remember hearing there was massive rewrites because they were so impressed with him or something to that effect.
Mirage being a goofball definitely sounds bad because Mirage is like a soulful samurai type character.
Yeah.
So that sounds terrible.
That does sound bad.
Oh well. What are you going to do, Hollywood?
Can't blame Bay for this one. Well, he's still executive producer, but still. All right, let's move on now to what we played. I'll only do a little of this again. Okay, we know what that is. Let's get right to it. We played some games, and mostly, for me, they were the shared games. I played a bunch of Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16. Let's start with Final Fantasy. John and I both got it for our PlayStations 5. Is that how you'd say it, for plural PlayStations? Our PlayStations 5, I think. Is that how you'd say it? That
might be right, but it sounds wrong.
It sounds stupid. We played, I think, almost about. Well, how far did you get to the place? Let's call. I don't want to spoil anything. Let's call it. Let's call it Joshua's Temple. Did you get there?
Joshua's Temple.
It's a series of challenges and a bunch of elevators. Okay, I'm a little ahead of you there. I can't believe I'm ahead of John Jagger in a Final Fantasy game.
What are you playing, story or are you playing arcade?
I'm playing story. So
I'm playing arcade.
Oh, well, it should hurry you more. Well, anyway.
No,
you know what I did?
Story is easier combat.
It is, but what you do is you take. All it is it gives you those rings or not, right?
No.
I thought that was it.
It's a difficulty adjuster.
Oh.
You still get the rings.
So should I be on? Oh no, I'm not on story. I'm on whatever the next one is. There's two settings. I'm on the one that isn't easy.
There's one for fighting and there's one for story.
I'm on the fighting. That's the one I'm on.
Okay. All right. Well, in the same one, are you equipping any of the rings?
I have the ring for the slow-mo dodge, which I like a lot.
Are you reading all the text?
I am.
Are you going into active time lore and reading about the world?
Occasionally, but only when I'm confused. Like, oh wait, I thought this guy was with the whatevers. Oh no, he's not. Here's active time lore to tell me different.
And
but not everything.
Are you doing all the side quests?
So far, I've done 2. So I guess the answer to that is no.
Okay, so well, that's probably it then.
That's probably why I'm ahead.
When you got to a field of mini bosses, did you take the time to fight every single one of the mini bosses?
No. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Why did you fight all of them? I thought they were there just for set dressing. Like, I don't want to. These are all. They're all boss fights.
I had to get prepared, man. I had to get ready. I had to go fight.
That was rough.
Also, I kept hoping I would get my potions back because I got to that field with 3 potions and that was it. And I knew there would be a boss fight coming up. And I was like, this could be a problem. And all I really ended up doing by fighting all those bosses, I think I ended up getting a potion from it.
Yeah.
But I ended up using 2. So I went into that boss fight with like 2 potions. I was like, all right, well, I just can't get hit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of I've only had one major fight where potions became a problem, but it's a little bit further than where you are, so I won't talk about that fight, but it was a bummer. That one was hard. But anyway, we're both playing the game, and my initial impressions after playing the demo were couldn't be higher. I was like, man, I cannot wait to play this game. Like, I played it Monday.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I interrupt?
Yeah.
Because I've watched a lot of people play the demo and watch the game, and when I watch it, I don't feel that.
Yeah.
So I want to know, like, I want to hear, like, what is it about the experience of playing it that, like, made you feel like you wanted to play it more? Because some games it's obvious. You're like, oh, he's enjoying it, and it looked like I'd enjoy it too. This was more, and I watched John play, I watched you play, I watched some other streamers play, because I was trying to figure this out. You guys seem to be enjoying it, but watching it, I wasn't like, I want to play this. So what's going on?
That's a fair point. I think on the surface, it probably looks to some to be just sort of a derivative Game of Thrones-y sort of take on story. It looks like, Devil May Cry kind of combat. If you're not in the middle, if you're not playing it, it definitely looks like that, and it probably should, given some of the folks that are on the team that are building out.
But what was the feeling though? Was like, were you hooked by the story? Were you looking forward to the next fight?
So
like,
there were two things that worked for me. I'll say
for me it's both. Like,
yeah.
I am all in on the story, and the story's being paced out like in such a way that it's actually really nice because the story doesn't leave you on the hook for things too long. Like, I was watching a review for the game, and I saw a clip of Clive fighting Benedicta up on top of the tower, and I was like, like she had wings sprouted out of her, and I was like, oh god, I saw a spoiler. I guess we're gonna fight her on a tower.
Yeah.
That looks like a late game fight right there. Nope. It's very early in the game, and I was like, oh, I wasn't spoiled by anything at all, actually. And like, it does a good job of hitting those beats where you're like, it introduces someone, you're like, oh, there'll be a boss later. Oh nope, they're a boss now. Oh, I'm going to be wondering who the identity of this person is going to be for a long. Oh, nope, I know who they are. But a lot of times those narrative answers bring additional questions. So it's like, oh, we're trying to figure out who did this thing. Well, the game will tell you who did it, but with that comes 2 more questions about, like, well, why and what's this relate to this? So narratively, I'm hooked. Like, it's a very well told story. It's a very interesting world. It's dealing with some interesting concepts of, I think one of my more preferred lines in the story is, and they call us dominance, because it's exploring this concept of, like, we literally have these all-powerful beings, but we treat them like shit. We treat them like tools. In addition to, there is literally a caste system of, servants called the branded. So there's all sorts of these interesting narrative constructs. But then on top of it, I think the combat is insanely fun. Like, it's not just a case of it's serviceable. To me, this is like Mass Effect 2, where it's like the action part of the game came in conjunction with the story part of the game to create something even better altogether. Like, I look forward to both elements. I get a cutscene and I go, hell yes, let's see it. Let's go. I get to an action fight. I'm like, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm going to work on this combo in my head, because in between, during all these cutscenes, I theory crafted that, like, okay, I can do a force strike into a fireball, which usually knocks him back. So if I do a chase strike to that and then switch to Garuda for this and then hit him with this, I can turn that into the, like, I'm thinking about how to chain bigger combos and how to be a more effective fighter outside of the fights, then going into the fights, trying those things out, and the game supports that. And it's really, really cool the way it all comes together. Then on top of that, I'm just a sucker for like big kaiju action type stuff. And this thing feels like a Game of Thrones story with some Devil May Cry action, and then every now and then we take a break to watch a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's so freaking good. And when the Godzilla movie happens, you're just like, holy shit, why did it escalate to this? And there's a series of cutscenes, Scott, you'll know what this is, where you go from like big, insane Godzilla action and you're like, all right, well, surely we're going to take a breath. And then it gets bigger. Yeah. And then it gets bigger, and then they're just like, oh, have you been enjoying all the action? Well, here's an insane cutscene not related to anything else that's just as big and crazy. And it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's
an overload
to answer Bo's original question. That's it. You just described it. I think you're dead right about the combat. I think you're right about the story. These are all, I agree with those 100% so far. There's a lot of melodrama, but that's, it's Final Fantasy. It's what you get. But the thing that won me over is a combination of amazing voice acting. Like, I really buy these people. For the first time in Final Fantasy history, I actually buy these people. It's a very earnest job on the acting. It's incredible. Having Lorath again is weird, but whatever. I really like him now. That character's great. Sid's amazing.
It is a little. You've been hearing him a lot for the past couple weeks.
It's kind of jarring when you first hear him, but once you get used to him, it's fine. But the scale, Bo, to which you are fighting weird, crazy shit, or those things are fighting each other, just the spectacle that you're witnessing and then oftentimes participating in, and you're like, oh, I'm controlling this? Holy shit, how is this even in a video game? Like, multiple moments like that. I've been in enough, like, even mini-boss fights that feel like ends of other games to me. Yeah. And then I'm not used to that. Like, I'm not used to feeling like, oh, okay. Like, you were talking about that fight with her on the roof. That felt like the end of a video game.
Yeah,
and it would be
both in like both in the challenge of the fight and the scale of the fight, where I was just like, good Lord, this feels like the end of the game. Yeah,
it's insane, that stuff. That's what really won me over, is that combination of things. It's not perfect, and here's my first complaint about the game. And this came in part 3 of my playthrough. Part 1 being the demo, part 2 being a 3-hour run of the first part of the game yesterday. And then today, or no, that was however I did it. Anyway, last night during my third stream of the game, I hit the most meandery story part this game has given me so far. And I really hope it's the last one, because I think it really screeched to a halt for a bit. It picked right up after that screech, but there was a whole moment of like a whole hour, it felt like, or more, of we're going to a town, we're talking to these people. They are all telling me the longest sob story. But not only that, they're telling me the same sob story. She's going to tell me the story, and then this other guy's going to tell me the thing, and it's the same story with the same sad music, and I'm going to have to listen to both of them because I don't want to skip any of this. Okay, are they done? Oh, I have to backtrack because they got a bridge to be fixed. Fine, I can do that. But then I got to hear that guy's sob story. I think there is a section of this game I just think is horrible pacing that I went through, that when it gets up back on track, it's great. I'm back on track. Let's go. But there's a whole swath there. I was just like, holy shit, you guys. This is terrible pacing for what I've already, maybe you set the bar too high already with all this insane action, and now suddenly you're dragging your feet.
I don't know if I've gotten to that yet.
You might not have. Enjoy it.
Let me see if I can talk around spoilers. There was a person back in Sid's base.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be some spoilers, but the early stuff is what I'll spoil. The other stuff. There's a person who's unconscious at Sid's base that eventually wakes up.
Okay.
And then you leave with that person to go start the next leg of the adventure. Is that what you're talking about, or was this before that?
This is after that, but it's a ways after that. Like
geez, you're way further than me.
I'm pretty
Holy
far.
hell,
I'm pretty
you're
far.
screaming through this game, Scott. All right, well, yeah, I'm at that, so I haven't seen it yet.
Is like, wait, I got a problem.
No, I look. I've been, like I said, most of the interactions I've really enjoyed, and I like these cutscenes. They're great, and I'm not skipping stuff. But when I got to this place in town, it was almost impossible not to. And in most of the cases of the dialogue, you can't. You have to let it play out or skip the whole scene. I'm not going to do that because I need the story. But these people are just, that's the most dry ass town. It sucked there. I hated it there. And I felt like I was never getting out of there. And it just felt out of place. It just didn't feel like the rest of the game. And now I'm in a place where it 100% feels like the rest of the game. Like it's like immediately, as soon as I got through there, after that slog, it went, all right, back to it. And I was like, all right, this is what I was talking about. And it's been insane ever since. And when I finally put it aside this afternoon to get ready for the show, I was at a point where I did not want to get off. I was really enjoying it. So for me, it's just a blip in an otherwise stellar experience so far. And I've had some people say, well, I hear you can just basically play this game with one button and barely pay attention. And I guess so. If you're going to do the easy story mode, plus you're going to add all the trinkets that make you do certain things. But I found...
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is, so I have seen this criticism, and hey, people, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Yes, if you play on story and you equip all the rings, including the one that literally says equipping this ring will make it to where you execute combos pressing one button, then yes, stupid, you can play the entire game with one button. That's what you equipped that ring for, dumbass. Like, let me just be clear. If you're going to complain about something that you equipped on your character doing what it said it was going to do, you're a moron.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're looking for, you can create that experience. Absolutely. But you're doing it intentionally. Yeah. So I think there is a disingenuous argument out there of people saying like, it's just one button press over and over again. Yet if you make it so, and guess what? That's for some people. That's how they've chosen to do their accessibility options. And kudos to them for including it.
Right.
Like, I don't think we should be criticizing the game for trying to include options for other people.
Do you think it's dumb that it's rings though? Like, shouldn't it just be menu options?
Well,
I mean, I think it can go either way.
It's kind of the same effect.
Like,
it doesn't really. The reason I like
ring
it
feels like in lore, it's a ring that exists. You found the ring of monochrome, or I don't know what. Like you found the ring of one button combos. You know, it's like
right.
Is this in canon? You know, but if it's a setting, you're like, well, the settings aren't in canon. It's just to tailor my experience.
Well, that's kind of what I like too. It also and this is where, because at first I was a little bit weirded out by it. I'm like, really, I'm going to put this in a slot? Okay, I don't know about that. But what happens later, I think anyway, if you play the game long enough, you realize, oh, there are other better in slot items. I'm going to have to get rid of that and use something like that helps me get better healing during boss fights or something that lets, I don't know.
That makes it worse, right? Then it's like, well, so if you have a disability and let's say you need these accessibility options.
That's a fair point. You can't
use the magic. You can't, I found the one ring. Oh, can't use it.
No, you're not wrong. If you look at it from that perspective,
the most ableist thing ever.
Yeah, from that perspective, that's actually a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way. But had I approached it as someone with somebody less abled, I would be like, oh well, shit. I really
don't get me wrong. I'm fine that these options are in the game. That it was just the ring, the fact that the rings, like they're equipable items.
I think in my opinion, I think a menu option is better. I don't see any issue with the ring. I mean, if you're going full tilt on the rings to make the game easy, you can do it without trivializing all your inventory slots. Like they're pretty powerful, and they do different things. I don't think it necessarily is the end of the world, but you know, is it too cutesy for its own good? Maybe. I do like that it tattles on you, puts it up on the screen so that when idiots get on the internet and go, look, you can do it with just one button, you get to see the buffs literally right there telling them, hey, they've equipped the ring that makes them do it all in one button press. So, you know, but you have to know that. And that's the part that frustrates me is like for somebody on the outside curious about this game, if the first thing they see of it is a guy on the internet pressing one button to just beat all the bosses and dodge everything, they don't know to look at that and go, oh, he's equipped accessibility items that make it to where that's doable.
Well, I saw that tweet and I was sort of aware, but I wasn't, I was like, not sure. I didn't play. I was like, maybe the game is really easy. I don't know. But I didn't know. Right. So it's like, I didn't trust it based on what I was seeing. I was like, I don't think this is a good source of information.
Yeah.
But
there were a lot of videos done. People were doing videos to get reactions where they were like, oh, here I am eating pizza, looking the other way, playing a game with a single button with my pinky. Isn't this funny? Like, there was a lot of that going on. And then people were taking that as like, how can this game be so easy? This is stupid. And it's like, no, that guy put a ring in there that he knows does what it does. Like, I'm with John. That sucks.
Yeah, and I don't fault people for leaning into the meme and being like, yeah, look at this fun thing I'm doing. It's the people that are trying to get out there and pretend like that's what the game is. I think the combat in this game is actually really good and can be challenging, although I will say the biggest challenge for me this game has presented is not having circle be the dodge button.
Hitting the R1 all the time.
I have gotten hit so many times because I pressed circle instead of R1.
Yep.
For dodge. You can remap it, to be clear, but I actually think the controls are good by default and worth relearning with the way you chain combos, because the combat gets really complicated. Like, it has been building, and if you just played the demo, there is a mode on the demo called the Iconic Challenge or something like that that does unlock and give you a better idea of what comes later in the game, because it really does change it up, because basically there's ways to chain through different sets of special moves which modify what your buttons do. So now, instead of it just being, all I really felt like I was doing was pressing square then triangle and occasionally dodging, well, eventually you're going to get to a point where you're comboing square triangle with circle only when an enemy staggers at 50% on this particular power set, then switch back to this. It can get insanely complicated. And I think that depth is a lot of fun to explore.
I agree. And I haven't gone into that iconic mode, so I don't know the full length of it. But when I got my, without spoiling things, when I got my second tier of attacks, that was a really good feeling. It was like, oh my gosh, this opens this up wide. Like, look at the different ways I can approach this. I know that thing's going to react very poorly to this one ability, so I'm actually going to max out points on that. I'm going to do points on this thing. I got my flame sword. I got these weird combinations. Like this, it has grown on me greatly, because prior to this, I was worried. In fact, right as I got into the demo, I was worried, because I just thought, this isn't as cool as the combat in 7 Remake. I like that combat. I like the pause and make some choices. I still like that combat. It's very cool. And I was worried this was going to be not that cool. And whether it's cooler or not, it feels great and feels tactical. And I feel like every fight is
it
really
$800 great?
Bo's like,
let me drive home the point here. Like,
a much bigger
I was a part of a big launch with Diablo IV, and it felt really great. And now, everyone's moving on to Final Fantasy 16, and here I am without a PlayStation 5, and I'm feeling a little like I'm looking for reasons to not want this game, basically. Yeah. So, because it would be $800. I'm in for $800.
You know what I would do, Bob?
And I think I don't want to.
You should be in.
We'll be playing till PC launch.
Be in a year from now when it's on PC, because that is coming there.
I think that's why I'm like so intense and trying to figure out whether this is like worth dropping for the PS5, but I don't think so.
You're going to get a PS5 eventually. Because you're gonna play 7 Remake, right?
No, I've been rethinking that too. I think I'm not gonna buy Remake.
You're done. You're just not gonna get it. Wait, you're gonna wait till PC.
Here's the thing. Not that we need to make this about this topic again, but I bought the Switch for Pokemon Unite. I don't touch it. I bought the Xbox for Game Pass. I don't touch it. So I'm gonna buy PlayStation 5 for one game and not touch it. I do not want to spend money on a console that I'm not going to use.
Yeah,
I took mine from my parents, so
yeah, exactly.
I cannot cast the.
If that were an option, then things would be different. I might give it a go, but like it's just the whole the hype behind it, and I was like, it'd be fun to play, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree. I also think you should wait.
Yeah, they can.
Although Rallisaur in the chat says sell those two and buy a PS5.
Well, sell what to? His PC? He's not selling his
Switch
PC.
and his Xbox. I don't
Oh,
think
his
you get
Xbox.
enough for a
Well,
PS5.
no, yeah, and my Switch is like has tangential value as a handheld,
Right.
and you know I might play Zelda on it. I did get that as a birthday gift. I feel kind of guilty having not played it, not really liking it. Breath of the Wild, that is.
Yeah.
And the Xbox is now my mother's TV watching
TV
box.
device.
It's not used for video games. It's just strictly for. I'm not going to sell it. We need it. So
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
I used to have a console has to have at least 5 games that I can only play on it that I absolutely feel is a must-have before I will buy it. And I've broken that rule several times, and I've regretted it every time I've broken it.
Yeah, it's a good rule to have, but it's also a hard rule. You got to wait a while for that to happen.
You do, and actually, that's why I never got a PS5 till I took one from my parents. Is I was still waiting to hit that 5-game limit.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I want to play Miles Morales, and then as I was waiting for that number to hit 5, that came out on PC. I got it. And you know, it was kind of this constant like, well, I'll wait. I gotta get to that 5. I gotta get to that 5 before I get it. And the nice thing about waiting, and this is one advantage, Bo, is you know, maybe if you do end up getting it, it'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, if you do break down and say, you know what, I'm getting a PS5 because there's several things I want to get on it. Unlike Nintendo consoles, there's a good chance those games aren't going to be $60 or $70.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think that's likely to be the case.
But I will say this. I was going to save this for news. I forgot to write it in there, so might be a good place to say it. Take it with a grain of salt because you never know with video game companies. They say all sorts of things. But the word is that the reason there is not a PC version of this game yet
Yeah.
is because they do not have the resources team-wise to do a proper PC port yet, and they are working on it, but they don't have the staff to put out something that they had confidence was going to not be one of these stories of a trashy PC port coming out. So, you know, this team in general has a good history of being very transparent. The Final Fantasy 14 and now 16 team has in the past been very transparent about game dev and stories behind the scenes. I'm inclined to believe that when they say like, hey, we don't have the staff to put a day and date PC port out that's not going to be suboptimal and we want to do it right, I tend to believe it. Now, when one comes out, if it's broken and doesn't work, you know, hold their feet to the fire. But also that comment pretty much confirms what we already knew, which is they want to do it and they're working on it.
Yeah, and they've had good success over there. They make a lot of money on PC, and these remakes, they, you know, 7 Remake worked out real good on there. You know, PC version of that hit the road running. It was great. No big issues that I'm aware of. So it would be great to see them take their time. Here's the other thing. All that discussion last week about frame rates and all the Sony people with their nose in the air talking about not unlocked, but 60 frames per second on PS5 and this game. I hate to break it to you people. This game is not a consistent 60. It's barely ever a 60. I think I'm maxing it out around 40 in performance.
I think it's
mode.
typical of launch Final Fantasies too. Final Fantasy 13 was like that as well.
Yeah, it's just
particularly on the Xbox 360, although that makes sense because it's the Xbox.
right.
But still, I think even on PS4, the open world, they had. I remember 13 having slowdowns.
PS3, man.
And
It's PS3, right? Wasn't that
PS3,
game?
I think probably
Yeah.
2 or 3. It's probably 3.
3, yeah.
2 seems too early.
10 and all the X2 and all that stuff was PS2.
It's you know they because they're graphics bonanzas, so you know.
And it's definitely,
sort of
I
makes
guess what
sense.
I'm saying is those people who are going, I can't believe in 2 days I'm be playing this 60 frame per second insane looking game and they can't get their space game to go higher than 30. It's not running very well at 60. I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that, but maybe just everybody knock off the infighting on this sort of shit and everything will be fine. I guess I'm fueling it now, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up.
I was gonna say like you are.
I am. I'm peeing on the
throwing
fire.
gas
Yeah.
on it. As somebody who wanted to talk a little bit this week about what's going on with the FTC and Microsoft, but couldn't wade in the time that I had for show prep through the bullshit of fanboys arguing with each other over what Phil Spencer had to say.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it, man.
Yeah, I don't even want
We're
to
not talking about that news story today. And if you wanted to hear us talk about it, you can blame the fanboys because I didn't have time to wade through all the they said, shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's bad.
Just play whatever video game system you want to play and stop worrying about it.
Yeah, it got real bad. Today was real bad because today was all the deposition stuff, and it's impossible also to find sites that are really reputable to not try to pull this from some direction it didn't intend to go. Like, just tell me what they're saying up there. That's all I want. But that's not sensational enough. So, yeah, fanboys be damned. I hate it. I can't stand it.
It was rough today, and it'll take a better picture. Maybe we talk about it next week once we've gotten a little clearer picture of how it's all going. But it was bad. No. It's just really bad. It's like trying to play games where you want and don't worry about it. Companies are going to company. You should be against both of them, honestly. You shouldn't be waving a flag with a company logo on it. Let me tell you, as somebody who's covered exclusively Blizzard games for a long time, where that road ends, it's not with a big smile because the company loves you so much they're going to take care of you for the rest of your life. They don't even do that for their employees. Like, stop rooting for companies.
Yeah.
You should just be like, hey, I'm going to just play games that make me happy and go do that, and stop rooting for a weird corporation that cares more about what's in your wallet than you as a human being.
Amen. That's very well said. Anyway, Final Fantasy 16 is cool. You should play it if you have a PS5. If you don't, wait for PC, I would say. Yeah, I mean, it's a very big game, so neither of us are far enough to give you a full picture.
You're apparently blazing through. I had no idea you were so far.
I'm not really. I'm like I said, I'm not really skipping anything.
You guys know how many hours roughly? Like, Final Fantasies tend to be long.
It's probably.
I feel like I saw 30 somewhere, 30 hours, but
whoa,
I don't know.
30 hours,
30 to 60 maybe.
That's
60
short.
if you do everything. If you're completionist,
Hold on.
maybe.
Let's see.
I can't remember what I read.
We had the conversation about how long your Final Fantasy run was.
Fantasy
you were like,
16.
for early games were really short, and you're like, I'm getting to the 100-hour games.
I don't know where I got the 30 hours from. 50 hours to finish the main story, upwards of 75 hours of playtime.
Still it's on the lower end of Final Fantasies. Remember that list you had like 150, and had some real big numbers.
Yeah. Although I will say the Pixel remasters did a lot of work on cutting that down, being able to fast forward through random battles.
So maybe
it's real nice.
Maybe it's fine. I mean, it's not a point I'm trying to make of criticism, because it's just it seems like there's so much, so many set pieces that would lower the game. To me, set pieces always lower game time because they're not making like repetitive content. It's like you play the set piece and it's done. That was like 5 months of work and there's your 2 minutes, like this.
Well, and that's the thing with no random battles, with every battle being like you went to a place and these were the set battles there that you're going to encounter. Like, I think it's going to move a lot quicker. So I actually I see 50 hours and I think, wow, this is actually kind of a long game. Because when you think about it more as a character action game, like if somebody came and said, hey, how long is the new Devil May Cry? And you're like, 50 hours for the main story and up to 75, you'd be like, Jesus, that's a long character action game.
Yeah,
and I think you almost have to reframe it a little bit that way because it does feel very different from an RPG. Although, man, some of those action sequences, not the first one that was in the demo, the second Icon fight.
Oh, yeah.
Was so insane.
It's unbelievable.
And it just kept going.
No.
It was I was just like, well, it's not going to get any bigger than this, and it did. Also, everything leading up to it, even like whole section.
Have you gotten to the? I'll just say this doesn't spoil anything. Have you seen let's just call it a guy on a horse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they just follow that up. Like that was right after.
I want you guys free to talk about it.
I just don't.
Right,
I don't want to.
Well, let's talk about people. Like, we're going to be using Final Fantasy names. They go from a fight between Ifrit and Garuda, where you are in control during that fight, and like I said, it feels like a Godzilla movie. It's got all your big like literally tearing off arms, and then the arms regrow and you see like the bones pop out and the muscle form around it while they're grabbing, and like big crazy action that some of it is cinematic, some of it is in control. It bounces back and forth between them, and you're like, this is crazy. And that was right after you were fighting a giant icon as a little tiny human.
Yeah.
Like
that
it
was
did
something.
it. You start as a human fighting it, and then you go to a big monster, and when it's all done, you're like, oh my gosh, that was insane and bombastic. They're like, oh, by the way, just for no reason, here's 2 armies fighting while a massive giant Odin fights Bahamut. And you're just like, why are you showing me this? I was already hyped.
I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure why we got to see all that. I don't know. It was so insane. Everything about that cut, because it was like this moment in the story where it was like, meanwhile, you know, and you're like, meanwhile, are you kidding? Look at this. This is main event in any other game. Any other game, this meanwhile is with these people I'm not going to see till later. I don't even know where I'm going to see them again. Like, that stuff blows my effing mind. And I don't know if you got to. So you've seen the horse. Have you seen the Sky Wizard, Electro Wizard bit? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was in that fight. That's helped
part of that,
encounter.
Right.
Yeah, Rama.
Unbelievable.
Is in that Garuda Ifrit business too.
It's unbelievable.
Like, those icon stuff is so. It's just so crazy. And I get that it is like it is plucking that bone of like it just finds the badass bone and just starts nudging it a bunch.
Oh yeah.
But like it worked 100%. I was trying to just be like, let's be realistic here. It's just models fighting each other. You know, you try to walk it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I can't. Like, that is one of the coolest looking Odins I've ever seen, and it is insanely tall. It is like a giant monster Odin. It's not just like a guy on a horse. It is huge. It's like a mountain-sized horse.
Yeah.
And then he's fighting a dragon.
Yeah.
While other armies are fighting all around their feet. And I just was like, holy hell.
In the daytime, like, too. They're not hiding anything.
Holding anything back.
It's happening in the middle of daylight, which is a weird look anyway. Because I'm used to these things like rain and dark and hiding all the seams, you know, but they're not. It's like out in the open, crazy insanity right in the middle of, you know, like lunchtime. It's hard to explain why that scene hit me that way, but it was like, what time of day is it? How are they having this fight out here?
Because if it was a movie, you'd be like, how do they have the CGI budget for this?
Right.
If it was a movie, you'd be floored. You'd be like, well, wait a minute. What movie in the right mind put the CGI budget for this thing? Like, it's so cinematic in scale, and everything leading up to that moment just is a constant escalation. Like that whole tower sequence where it's just like fighting guys in the tower, and you're like, all right, I'll climb the tower and fight a boss. And you do. But then the boss is literally like throwing the tower at you.
Yeah.
And I love the escalation that it goes from here's a normal person. Here's a person using crazy powers. Here's a person using crazy powers doing crazy things. Okay, now you're going to fight an icon as a man and just see what that's like. Okay, now you're going to fight an icon as an icon. And that fight's going to get interrupted by a third icon. And it just keeps going. You're like, guys, you got to wheel it in. How is this not the end of the game?
Yeah.
How does it build on this?
Yeah, that's my big question. Like, one of the apprehensions I have at this stage is, will this continue to be like that? Can they possibly keep that up? I don't know, man. If they do, I'll be blown away, because you can't blow all your best stuff early like that. So that makes me think they've got shit to show me that will further take me into this world in a way that I didn't expect. I'm totally blown away by that. The other thing to say about the game, from a length perspective, this just gives you some comparisons. Tears of the Kingdom, which is, you know, out and being played and people have beaten it. On average, main story 57 hours, main and extra stuff 101, and 218 for completionists. So by comparison, this is much smaller. But like John said, I think it's a matter of how do I put this? I prefer it to be this main story 40 hours.
Well, it's also not an open world game. Like,
right, not at all.
Tears of the Kingdom's an open world game, which by their very nature are going to be longer. This game is a bit more linear. You can go back to places you've been, but like it is a linear set of paths.
Yeah, even where it feels
very Final Fantasy 13. Then
yeah, oh yeah. Like that's the big comparison I keep hearing. 13. Everybody's like, oh, it's like 13. And I don't know if people mean that in a negative way or a positive way. I think 13 is at the time got some heat, but then later people forgave it or thought better of it. Or
well, they made 2 sequels to that game, so I don't know if Western audience liked it much. But there's 13-2 and then Lightning Returns.
Yeah.
Which I do want to play those 2 because I did like 13. I've played through it a couple times, but I think 13's has maybe a little cutesy. Like it's not. It doesn't go hard in any particular cool direction. It's just very like warm colors and very sort of lovely kind of cute world, if that makes any sense.
Sure,
it was first in the Xbox PS3 generation, so I think it suffered a bit in that way. And then also it does strike me as 13 the levels were super linear, right? Like you go in a new zone and it's basically a corridor, like, and everyone's like, Final Fantasies aren't about corridors, you need open spaces.
Yeah, but this is definitely less open spaces. That's going to bug some people who
if it's like 13, you'll get a big open space in the end. Like you'll have an end game before the final boss or final act where maybe you'll get some open stuff. That's how 13 was.
Yeah, this one opened up for me today in a certain area a bit. I was able to, well, so John, we were talking about it. You could go kill all those mini bosses that are all scattered around.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that, and you could go find hidden stuff here and there, and you get a little distracted from the main quest, but it wasn't like, it's not like Red Dead Redemption where it's 300 miles of walking around or anything. It was pretty basic.
Yeah, you're picking your spot on the map. You're going to that spot, and like, it's not necessarily always linear. Like there've been times where I'm like, I don't know how to get that item, and I did not find the path to get that item because I know I saw a blue sparkly that I did not pick up. But it's not, it's not a big open world either. So
right.
It's not a game that should be thought of like that. But man, I'm having a fun time with it. I cannot wait to play more of this game. If I had one complaint, here's my one.
Oh, let's hear it. What do you got?
I am not loving the kind of crafting blacksmith business right now because so I got this really they colored it purple and I crafted it from an item that I got from a boss fight, and it was like this sword that had an insanely cool item description. The item description was a quote from a fake book about death from above and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest sword that ever sworded. And then I watched a bunch of cutscenes and I went to the blacksmith and he's like, yeah, give me a couple materials. I'll make a better sword than that. I used it for one stage and then I was back at the blacksmith and he was like, here's some basic materials and I'll make a better sword than that epic one that you just got.
There's been people complaining about the lack of actual RPG. It's very light RPG other than, it's got some basic stuff that just feels like every RPG has them, but they're really light. And I also wish it felt, I wish it had deeper RPG systems. Maybe it's just because I was just playing 7 Remake again or something, but it just feels like that. I keep going back to him thinking I've got enough stuff to do some cool new things. Just down to big boss. Oh, he must be able to make me a rad new sword or something. And everything he can make is less than what I've got. Or is, the reinforcement. I have plenty of parts, but it's only going to bump it by 1 point for one of the stats, and it's just not worth it. There's a real lack of depth to the RPG systems in the game. And I think that's a fair criticism of the game. Unless maybe people don't care. I know we all come from we like our RPGs. We like depth to our RPGs, action RPGs, all kinds of RPGs. This is more like, hey, what if Devil May Cry had a couple of slottable items? It's like that a little bit.
Yeah, it just felt it felt like there was no choice there. I got these swords literally one stage apart from each other. And there's one is a crazy epic one tied to a boss encounter, and the other is just a sword that a guy made for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's okay, but if I was going to design it, to play armchair designer obnoxiously for a minute, I would put an extra stat on the one where it's hey, your wind-based abilities will do 2% more damage.
Yeah.
and then make it to where like, well, do I want one that has solidly better attack, or am I going to use wind-based abilities enough to justify this 2% increase, just to make something interesting there? But it was really weird to get like a cool trophy type weapon only to immediately have it replaced. You know, it's the going into Burning Crusade effect where all your purple items got replaced by green. In fact, I think that's literally the color scheme. I think it was purple to green.
Yeah.
But instead of being an entire MMO expansion apart, it was one level. And
Is
then
there no
done.
there's no materia or anything like that?
Not that I've encountered yet. No
Like
materia.
you can't do builds.
You do builds on abilities,
Right?
Like there are abilities that you can do, but
it's just putting points in them and maximum.
Scott, you have got to change the video. You are showing stuff that is spoilers for me.
Oh, is it? You haven't seen this bit?
Rein that in. No.
Oh, all right. It's off now. It's like a 6-second delay. I can't turn it off any quicker. It's off.
I don't know why you're going that late.
This isn't.
Damn.
Look,
the spoiler neutral guys.
He's not even doing his own stream. He's doing somebody else's. I don't know what's going on with all that. You've seen that moment?
I've seen all this stuff. Yeah. So I thought it was much closer to where you are. I must have played more than I thought.
Apparently you did.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild that Scott's the chief Final Fantasy here.
Well,
he is. Clearly, he's such a veteran.
It's just a timing.
Fantasy in chief.
It's just a timing thing. My appreciation for the series is, as you guys know, we talked about it last week, is kind of fresh. I haven't come around very easy, but I'll admit this thing happened to me while playing this that kind of I thought of John. It kind of made me want to install Final Fantasy 14 again, and I don't really want to do that, but it made me want to.
7. Where are you at on 7?
Oh, 7. I'm
7 remake,
not super far.
Original,
I played remake all the way up till this came out. Like that's what I was playing mostly because I was just in the mood after that demo.
Keep going. If you need a break from 15, I mean,
yeah,
or 16, sorry,
yeah.
Which one is it? 16.
16.
Right?
15's the last, the car one, the bro car one, which I may play that too now that I got a taste for this, but it just keeps. I just keep getting more excited about it, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on.
The bro car one.
I was secretly hoping that Nintendo Direct where they were going to announce like a Final Fantasy VI remake, like proper. I don't know why I thought this.
Just play the Pixel remaster, man. It's good.
I know it's good. I should just play that. I wish I had
They're
better.
all good.
I wish I had better Steam Deck support, but yeah, this is a cool game. I don't know what else to say about it other than if you got a PS5, it feels like this is an exclusive for now. You should get it. It's a good thing for Sony to have this game right now. I think during all this mess they're going through, and I'm having a quality hell of a time with it, and I'm going to see this one through. I really hope it doesn't have any more dead spots in it, because that one town, dude, jeez Louises, sucked in there. Hated it. When you get there, you'll know, and you'll tell me whether I'm up a tree.
I'm going to guess there's going to be probably another one, just based on, like, 7 I kind of know what you mean by those lulls. Like,
yeah.
They have these interludes where you do, like, humble... Like, have you met a Moogle yet?
Yes, I talked to a Moogle.
Yeah, I did meet a Moogle. It was great.
It was
but like, have
fine.
you done full on Moogle quests? Like,
no. He has a side quest
because like they usually show you one, and then later on you're gonna have a bunch of tasks for a Moogle.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, for a game where every game is set differently and they're never sequels to each other, and they're always in a different setting and planet and world and all that. They sure love their Moogles. They sure love those.
They sell lots of merchandise on the Chocobos.
Moogles are great,
Moogles.
man.
Chocobos
but
and
you know,
Moogles.
I think one thing to keep in mind, and this is an interesting thought. You know, I've seen some people that are like, I don't like the new actiony thing. You know, the not my Final Fantasy folk are out in full effect. I don't really understand that kind of stance, because there is almost nothing that is universal to the Final Fantasy franchise beyond the name. Moogles are not in every game. Chocobos are not in every game. Sid is not in every game. Biggs and Wedge, not in every game. The icons aren't even called icons in every game, but even if you want to accept all their different names, they are not in every game. There is almost nothing about Final Fantasy that is universally true across the entire series. So, like, to anybody that looks at it and they're like, I don't know, this is too different for me, that's fine. but there is no one thing that is Final Fantasy.
They all
Not
have
even
hit
the
points.
jobs have been universal across.
They all have hit points, John.
Is that it? That's the secret? I think they all have Gil. I think Gil,
Yeah.
HP.
I don't know about that. There might be one. There might be an offshoot where one doesn't
where they
have Gil.
decided to go with gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, Final Fantasy is not a set thing, so I think it's 100% fine for them to get in and explore and mess with it, because there is so much. Nope, not chocobos. I see chat trying to guess things. Nope, chocobos are not in every Final Fantasy.
No.
We're not even in it from the beginning, not in the first one.
Right.
So it is not a thing that is defined by any stretch of the imagiation.
I think there might be water in all of them.
Yep. Wow, we're gonna get real broad.
Chocobos are cool in this one, by the way. They're rad.
Chocobos are cool in this one.
Yeah. I'm not usually that big of a fan. I find them kind of annoying in most of them, especially older ones. But in this one, they're just, I don't know. For the first time, I just really bought into them. They just are kind of badass. And
well, it seems like a scary mount. Like, horses are scary to a degree. You know, you watch John Wick, you see a guy get kicked by it across the room, you're like, all right. But like, if a horse is coming at you, you're like, I don't want to get run over by that thing. But if a chocobo's coming at you, I don't want to get clawed by that thing. I don't want to get pecked by that thing. I don't want it to trample me. There's like a lot of things I don't want a chocobo to do to me.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to go in the mashup.
Those big old beaks, dude, they're scary. I'm telling you.
They're freaky.
I don't know what else to say about it other than it's great. It's really fun so far. It's not perfect. It's got its issues, like every game does. But it is.
I'll need to find some FOMO juice.
It's very good, dude. It's very good. I think the PC version is going to run amazingly. Maybe not right at launch, but they'll have, they'll have a chance.
Buy this immediately for PC as well.
I can't imagine this
like,
not being.
I am gonna play through it again. And I cannot wait. So
I can't believe I might play 14 after this again. What's wrong?
I don't think you should play 14.
Really? You don't think I should play 14?
Yeah, you're not final enough for the.
I don't think you should play 14, Scott, until you want to sit down and spend a little bit of time for a long period of time playing the same exact game. Yeah. Like, and you're literally sitting here saying this lull where I had to go talk to villagers and hear about their problems. What do you think MMOs are, man?
No, I know they are.
Like,
I know they are.
That is what an MMO is. That's MMO bread and butter.
That's why I fell off of that
sort
thing.
Of design.
That's why I fell off of that in the first place. But I also only got to right around the time everyone tells me things sort of start kicking off. So.
Yeah, there is that whole like just get to Shadowbringers.
Yeah, it's like that a little bit.
Shadowbringers is real. That's a real slog. But even Heavensward, like, this game is written by the main writer for Heavensward. So Heavensward's pretty good. It's.
So where's the point where it gets good? Is it Heavensward?
I think it gets good from the start, but
no. Realm Reborn is okay. It's mid, but like I couldn't tell you about anything after that. I've played Realm Reborn. That's it. The barding was great. I love the barding.
But you didn't play all of a Realm Reborn.
No, but I could tell it was it's kind of like there's some crystals. Get the crystals, and some bad guys want the crystals. Like that's standard like Final Fantasy shit. Like it was not that interesting. Yeah. But people say it gets really good later, and I believed them. The trailers looked awesome. I was like, I don't disbelieve it, but like Realm Reborn definitely was not. It didn't engage me too much.
I can't. It's the impossible conversation. I can't tell people why 14 is good. I just can't. It has to be something that you have faith in. It's like God. Like, you have to have faith that it's gonna happen, and you have to go through a whole lot to get there. Yeah. And some people are going to say, it wasn't worth it. And some people are going to be like, you know what? I bought in and my faith was rewarded.
I know so many people who are like, oh, I don't know. And then they get in, they play, and they love it. So, I mean,
Well, it says something about my state of mind that the only games I played this week are Final Fantasy games. Well, Diablo IV. I played a bunch of that. But that was, I'm in endgame now or whatever I'm doing. I'm just leveling my dude. But I played Final Fantasy VII Remake right up before the demo, then I played more Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then the full game came out, and all I'd played is 16 after that. So it's holding my attention for now. I usually have 7 or 8 games to talk about every week, and I only have these
it
two.
says a lot that Scott's actually playing a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
You could be finishing Realms of Tsushio.
Well, also next week,
Sushio.
Mario and how many more months left?
Lesser-known brother.
You said you were going to finish that game by the end of the year.
Realms of
Tsushio.
Sushio. You mean
it's July?
You're talking about Ghosts of Tsushima is what you're referring to.
That was last year, Bo.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing.
You're 6 months overdue.
Yeah, I'm 6 months overdue already on that. But the other thing that's come, Dave the Diver's coming out of early access next week, and I am excited to get back to that. But we'll see.
A lot of people have I've seen people say Dave the Diver's good.
Dave the Diver's awesome. Yeah,
a lot of buzz on that game.
So good. All right. Also, what else do we have to say about Diablo 4? Anything new? Oh, Bo finished it.
I finished the campaign last night. In fact, finally, hooray!
What'd you think?
I thought it opened strong. The gameplay's fun, but it's definitely a whole lot of go here and do this business, which is okay. It's got good moments through it. Like, I enjoyed it. But, they really saved the epicness for the last act, I found. It's all like, okay, it was cool, like the raining blood and the chapel and stuff. Like, that's great and all. Adventures with Donan is kind of it was okay, but I get that they built it up. So that
I love Donan. Donan's great. He's one of my favorite characters.
Adventuring with Donan in Scotland.
Yeah. You're not a fan.
They're all okay.
You did not like Donan in the end, character-wise? I thought he was one of my favorites. He really rose to the top for me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Okay, here, let me talk about what we're talking about, but also make the perfect Final Fantasy analogy. Donan is great at the end because you've had all the boring adventures with him before to get used to him.
Yeah,
this is exactly the point of Final Fantasy XIV. Yes, it's a slow start, but the payoff at the end, like with Donan, when Diablo 4 really kicks off, is bigger because you spent time with him in Scotland.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for. So it's the same principle. I'm 100% with Bo on this. Like, it's, the story's is fine,
sense.
But then all of a sudden it pops off right at the end in a big way where you're like, holy shit, I wish we could have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah. It's like, how you describe Final Fantasy 16 as being like, holy shit, this is a regular level. In Diablo 4, you're like, oh, this is a regular level. You're not like, holy shit, you're like, no, this is okay. And then it's holy shit at the end. I found. But this is from someone who played the campaign after playing the game 15 days straight without knowing the story. So I might just be a little burnt out on the game. I definitely love Lilith, and I think the game did her dirty. I didn't want to kill her. I wanted to. That was the one part when she got into my head and was like, you should fight for me. I was like, yeah, I think I want to fight for you. The game's not going to give me that option. Okay.
Bo really winning me back after losing me with the D&D talk. Bo is just preaching truth with the Diablo story.
Yeah, Lilith's the mother. Of course,
100%
but I think they really nailed, honestly, like from a narrative perspective, was they made Inarius and Lilith very believable demons of what they were. She's the daughter of hatred. She has hate, but she has love, but her love is like toxic because she's demonic. But the love is genuine at the same time. And Inarius is like self-important, wants to do good and save himself and save things, but vain.
He's so vain.
And all things that humans have, right? Like you sort of like they get to the point where they're both. That's that cutscene where they're like fighting and talking, and you're like, oh, they really nailed like they do resemble humanity in each their own way. Like they took the time to like put those moments in their interactions and demonstrate it. They felt very human while still being the gods that they are. I thought those ending cinematics were just the last act is like, near breathtaking. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially even for a Diablo game. Like, and I never really I think the lore of a Diablo game is good and the atmosphere. And the cinematics are great, but the stories, we're not talking Shakespeare here. It's just like, demon, kill demon, like it's not. But Diablo 4 really took it to a really good level, and it was actually like a compelling story. I liked Mephisto. Mephisto is amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
And and you're right. It's like it's the same sort of what is it? What do they call it when you're just like you're in the middle of like love making and it's going real well and it's got to stop immediately. You know, is that blue balls? Is that
No,
I don't know what the
No,
know what
it's not
that
blue
is.
balls.
it's like when you gotta stop. Whatever, like you're in the moment. It's perfect. You're not ready to finish, but you're not at the start. And you know something happens that you hear the kid trip and make a huge mess downstairs, and you just gotta stop. He's just like, we just have to stop, and that's what it felt like. I'm like, I was really enjoying this story in this game, and it's over.
Yeah. Well, there's more to tell. You know, they're
Yeah.
priming you for the 2 expansions they say they're making.
I think they. Oh my god, I'll kill him. I'll kill him if I gotta wait till an expansion for some story. No way. They teased so much at the end.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did.
Like, we gotta find spoilers for anyone listening. All right, but I'm gonna talk. We gotta find Narelle.
Yeah.
Mephisto's definitely trying to become birthed. I'm sure we're gonna see Bale and Diablo and fight them too.
Would be nice to see Diablo in the Diablo game.
The game, yeah.
Tyrael, so it was real nice finding out the lore tidbits. Tyrael basically effed off. He got depressed and effed off, so he's out there somewhere.
He's out there
gone.
someplace.
Yeah. He just got depressed and effed off. So
He's
you know
hanging
we're gonna see him at some point. He's somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know, we see like Paladin stuff with the Crusader business. There's a new Johanna. Right,
Yeah,
so
I loved the Johanna story.
I was like,
that was
oh
one of my
shit. So
favorite little side stories.
Yeah.
we know what happened to our Diablo 3 Johanna, and then there's a new Johanna. You help her get the armor and don the name Johanna, which is awesome. And there was another one too. Oh, all the witch doctor stuff. I didn't realize. Like, I knew we were in the swamp and there was like witchy stuff going on, but
Love
I'm
that.
like, oh no, where's Nazebo? Like, like we're meeting all kinds of witch doctors. We gotta have a witch doctor class. There's got to be something going on with the witch doctors. That snake is way too important.
Yeah. That snake was so cool. I love the snake.
Yeah, that snake and the Tree of Whispers is supposed to be some big ally.
Yep.
So like there's so much open end that like and this goes in my theory with seasons. Seasons can't just be like Diablo 3. Like, oh, here's some mechanics and some content. They've got to entice all the people on social media that were like, wait, you got to roll a new character to play a season?
Yeah.
They're like, yes! So we're going to need to give them some real good enticement to come back, because now there's a bit of a barrier where they're like, I don't think I'm going to do that. Well, when you find out, you get to be... Where you get whatever you're going to find out where Tyrael's this season, you better play. Then people were going to come.
Well,
play.
see, that's a big question though. If you can't if the new seasons come out with story content and they're going to make you roll a new character to see any of it, that's fine. But don't make them wait till 100 to see it. Like, they got to be able to see that stuff.
No.
You know?
I think they're gonna. I think no. You could probably just go straight from early levels to it. I'm guessing.
I would hope so. I don't know, but I would.
There's
hope
a
so.
lot of parts of the map that look pretty awesome that have like nothing going on there. There's a lot of empty real estate. The whole area of Kyrgyzstan's basically skipped. You go to Kyrgyzstan to go to hell. Like, there's a whole zone that's got side quests, but no campaign content.
Yeah.
And you know, I think they can definitely. There's a connecting area in Hawazar that's like enter the city of whatever that has nothing. I'm like, this is an entrance in the future.
Yeah,
you know, like there's lots of stuff in
There's
there.
a door up north that is part of a side quest to keep locked, but it is also obviously still a door just sitting there waiting to be opened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, that ending, man, it was good. It definitely like resolved good. The Mephisto thing, they even wrote well that they couldn't trust themselves because the hatred was affecting them, but not Narelle. You know, like, I just thought that was a nice touch. And the Donan Lorath interactions were good. Like, oh, like, I like Donan, but it's just, you want to hang out. Lorath is kind of he's your main boy, you know, like, because he's your connective tissue to Deckard Cain and Tyrael. I don't know who Donan's connected to. I killed them pretty early in the campaign. There's like 2 Irishmen or something. He killed them real quick, and then that's it. You know, he loses his son, and like, you're like, okay, he's just depressed after, right?
Yeah. The one, okay, I want to talk about one trick they played on us in Diablo with the story. There's the launch date trailer they made and put out, which was the pre-rendered beautiful trailer of the lady walking in coals and coming out and then stabbing all those demons in the face, and Anarius floating around. They end that when he goes flying, or he throws a spear and it goes at Lilith and stops just before it hits her, and then they cut to Diablo IV coming, whatever the dates were. And we were all led to believe, well, that's the end of that cinematic.
I mean, that was a bomb cinematic.
It was awesome.
I didn't expect it to be like 4 times as long as that.
Yeah, there was so much more to that cinematic, and it's freaking great. That whole bit in the back end of that is really wonderful.
The cinematic is super awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, that's what I mean, where it's like I was enjoying the game, but it was okay. But then the cinematics and and it just feels like they're just getting cooking.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, I think they've got to entice. I can't see them sitting around. Let's do what we did with D3, and everyone will just love the game. I think they came out this hard with Diablo 4. They got to come correct. Maybe not season 1, but definitely season 2 for sure. Like, they gotta have an exciting reason, like they do with World of Warcraft. New story content and major updates.
It feels like that's what they are aiming to do, given just the heft of this launch. If they don't, I'll be surprised. If they pull back and get timid with it, I would be like, what happened? You know?
I could see season 1 not being there, but if we get to season 2 and we're not wowed, because that's like, I think it's 6 months for a season or something like that. It's going to be a little while, so they need to be big events if they're going to generate sales and get major interest.
Yeah.
But oh man, that story was good. Everything, that game is like, that's a 10 out of 10 game. Everyone's trying to be hip about not giving it it's 10s. I can't think of a more well polished ARPG than that thing. Like, it's not perfect. There's lots of stuff to be worked on, but that you try releasing something like that, or some other developer releasing something like that, it's just not going to happen. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm still playing. I'm leveling my rogue on hardcore, like level 54. Going to do the capstone and keep going. I think I'm going to be playing Diablo for a little while, guys.
Yeah. Well, it's Diablo. I'm a little shocked. I thought you'd burn out a little bit. I really did. That's a testament to the game, I guess, that you're.
Well, this is like D3. When D3 came out, Reaper's Souls came out. It's all I did for months. Like, so. The difference is I work. I was like a midlife retirement then, so I wasn't working, so I had all day to play. Yeah. I got to go to work a lot, so I get like 4 hours, and it sucks. Yeah. It's only 4 hours, but I'll be playing that. I think right now my current goal, I don't know if I'll get bored of it, but before season 1 launch, I'm going to try and level all the classes up to 100 on hardcore.
Oh my lord, on hardcore.
Yeah.
You just don't have the clock this time. It's the same process, but just
it's a casual process. I might not get to it. Season 1 probably launched before I achieve that, but I'm gonna work through content and do different things. I'm really enjoying the game.
Nice. Let's go to pay-per-view in WWE 2K23. Free pay-per-view. Sorry, free per-view.
Free per-view.
Real quick here. So I hate that it's on Wednesdays. This isn't your fault. My Wednesdays freaking suck, and my Wednesday this week was especially bad. Kim's out of town. She's in Minneapolis, and I had a bunch of stuff I had to take care of, and she wasn't here to help me handle it. So it was like a lot, and I just, in the back of my head, I'm like, that big match is tonight. Like, it's a big deal over there. I should be over there. Carter's fighting tonight. Me and John are going head-to-head. Like, I knew all this was going on, and I could not get to the stream. So I guess I've been looking forward to tonight because you can catch us up on what the hell happened. So how's it going?
So this week was the free preview. Man, a lot of people came out to support it and watch it. It was a really good time. Bo was there. He checked in during your and his match, and
gotta cheer on my team.
Yeah,
you gotta support the team.
Yeah.
Lots of people showed up. Yep, Carter made her debut in her opening match, or in our opening match. Did a great job. Won. Spoilers for it, I guess. Scott, you and I had a main event that was incredibly short. Yeah. There's one trend that has happened as I continue to do this frog wrestling thing, which is book what is in my head. A fantastic final match, only to have the AI absolutely go, now we're going to just make this a real dud of a match here. Our match was over too, though, right? In like, yeah, sure. But I mean, like, they have a little more control over it.
Yeah, and
So
wrestling,
usually
pro
it's
wrestling.
intentional.
Wrestling's not.
Yeah, wrestling's real.
You make
bro.
it sound like wrestling's fake. when
Yeah,
you
it's
say
real.
it.
It's real to me,
Wrestling's
man.
not fake, but it is predetermined, and they can predetermine if it's going to be short or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, not here. But what I learned, I've actually learned a lot getting into this. Is I've learned that we're going to get better matches if I mess with the AI settings.
Oh,
So
okay.
one of the things I've done post this pay-per-view is do some research on tweaks I can make to the AI and the way the game runs for an AI to try and make more satisfying, bigger, better matches
What are
that
you, the
kind of
heroes
match the
balancing team?
character stats. Now, I will also say some of the problems was me. I always pictured for you, Scott, I wanted you to be like a big boss character essentially in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like I wanted you to be the champion, and it would have looked a little embarrassing if you had come out as the champion
Yeah.
and just gotten destroyed and
Yeah.
rolled over, and like his first title defense, he lost it. It's like, why does he have the belt then? You know? So I wanted you to win. I just didn't want you to win that quickly. Like, it's really the way the outcome went. But I had a lot of fun. I put a ton of work into it. Everybody had alternate costumes. Not everybody, but most people had alternate costumes for the event. There was a different event. It was an open air arena, and just kind of went crazy with it. And my goodness,
I have to admit,
support,
the tech
so.
on your jacket, like with the swinging tassels coming in, that shit's realistic as hell. It's really nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Your theme is
Looks
crazy,
really good.
dude. Is it like white? It's like white lightning or something like that.
What his
my theme? What
his theme?
Yeah. Well, so you got like white clothes and then white lightning shot out or white fire. Like everything's like.
Oh
you know,
yeah, the
symbols
sparkles.
like white.
Yeah, I went big on the pyro for me. Like
Yeah.
you got to invest in pyro. That's the advantage of creating your own entrance. You can go
And that
crazy
frog
on the
pants belt
pyro.
looks so sick.
It does, except it looks like a watch. It looks like a giant watch you'd put on your wrist, but it keeps
It does a little bit.
it keeps
But I
twitching.
like it. I think it looks really good. I like all the belts. The
I mean,
belts,
dude, you got to
I'm a
get
big
mods
fan
for
of.
this thing. Like, are there mods and shit for this? Like,
It probably is.
There are some
should we
things. there's
reverse
some things
engineer
you
and
can
code
do.
our own stuff into the game?
Yeah.
So it was a really good time. I had a lot of fun. I've been messing with the game, so I think like I'm considering this free preview as kind of a reset. We're gonna have a crazy week. I've already got some plans. I gotta ask if you'll record some stuff. You're gonna have to turn real mean though, Scott. You've become the biggest bad guy. So I'm gonna have some dialogue for you to record, but it's gonna be mean, and you gotta be ready. The good news is it's to me, the person asking you for it. So
I'll do it.
you're gonna have to have some
Oh, it's
harsh
sponsored by Snickers. That's awesome.
some harsh words for me. So
That was
like
that was a listener in his chat. That was you've made custom subs and stuff, right? Sub notifications.
yeah,
That looks awesome. They look really cool. So let me ask you this: is the actual match between you and me shorter than the introductions of you and me?
it's close. I would say it's likely on par with like it is a short-lived match.
That's
The
a fart
intro
face,
a
though,
lot
right there.
longer.
Yeah.
But I do like your attire. I couldn't get rid of the jorts for you.
No,
If you want to go early in this VOD, you can see Carter. She had her match at the beginning, so that'll be closer to the front half of it. But yeah, I'm gonna use this as a chance to kind of reset things a little bit. I had a lot of fun with the outfits and stuff. It's just a good time overall.
The women, by the way, female designs, freaking top shelf, dude. Killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I showed that to Carter because John has been, I just want a little behind the scenes here on the kind of guy John is. John has been extreme, even with us, the dudes who are way less forgiving or way more forgiving on this front. But it was really important to John to get everybody's consent to do this. Like, do you want to be represented here at all? If you don't, it's totally fine. Just tell, like making sure it's cool first. And then even when you made these characters, you're like, make sure they're okay with it before I do this. I don't want to go through this unless we're good. All of them really, on my end, really appreciated that, first of all. Second of all, Carter's punk outfit is the most badass freaking thing. And you nailed it so hard, she freaked out. She's like, Dad, this is the coolest I'll ever look in my ever. any representation of me. She was so excited about it. So.
Well, I had just seen Across the Spider-Verse, and so she had said she wanted a punk style outfit. And so I kind of based it loosely on Spider-Punk. Mm-hmm. And then I also threw in a slight reference to her love for Bob's Burgers with the hat.
With the the bunny ears. I love it. That's perfect.
Yeah. So I figured I was going to capture it pretty well in both those regards. I figured those were two safe things that she'd probably enjoy to go with theming wise.
Yep.
The closest anybody's been to upset with their outfit has been Monica. She hates the pants I gave her. She cannot stand them. But even that I have checked with her outside of, I hate to ruin her reputation here. I did check with her outside and say, hey, this hate, is it fun hate or do you want me to actually change it? And she said she was ultimately okay with it, despite the fact that she's going to continue to publicly complain about the pants. I'm literally getting YouTube comments about how much they like her pants, so I can't change them. Like, although the fact that people are saying that like she's lost every match in these pants, I may have to.
The pants are cursed.
Do it.
Yeah.
There's a theory that the pants are cursed, so we may have to experiment with a change of pants.
My pants are blessed. I keep winning matches on my jorts. They're magic jorts.
Yeah, you got jort power.
I got jorts.
Yeah, I can't change the jorts. Everybody associates them with you, even though you've never worn them for reals. But everyone's just like, no, this is jorts. He's got to wear them.
I don't think I've ever worn a pair of jorts in my life, but I'm fine with it. 100% fine.
Jorts just means jean shorts, right?
Yeah.
You've never worn jean shorts?
I've never worn jean. Well, no, that's not true. I've worn cutoffs, but I've never worn the.
Cutoffs are, I guess,
they're different, right?
Vibe.
Yeah. Cutoffs are like,
I guess it's possible. I've worn jorts before.
Yeah, you probably look fine in them. I've just never thought about wearing them, and now they're a thing, and I can't get away from it. It's fine. It's totally fine.
I mean, they're iconic. At this point, it's iconic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me if it showed up on your Wikipedia page, like Scott Johnson, lover of jorts.
Fan of jorts. Just a big fan of jorts. Can't get him out of them.
Hand sanitizer in the chat wants to know my pant size. I'm not telling you, dude. I don't want those showing up.
Hans, don't send him jorts.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if Scott just kept getting sent jorts nonstop? He has a huge collection of them.
Kim comes home and she's like, why is there 20 pairs of jorts in the living room?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's my thing now, honey. Prepare to see jorts every day.
Now, Tolbert, I did in the chat. I have worn cutoffs that were a little short and might be Daisy Duke like. That was back in the 80s, though. It was a long time ago. Long time ago. We're not going to see that in frog wrestling. Is my
Look,
bet.
I'm just saying. I put the jorts on you as I was going through, and I had it all together as outfit. I was like, that looks like Scott. It just registered as okay in my head. I've never seen you in jorts, but there's something logical about it that just made me go, no, this is right. Yeah. And that's what everybody else has said. So maybe you're actually a jorts man. You just don't even know it yet.
Yeah, I might be. I might be a jorts man. It's a term I never thought I'd hear.
Well, one thing I will say is you're a great teammate, because when I watched our tag team match, you were definitely... You're definitely a savage.
So does this just mean I have good AI then? Is that all this means?
I don't know what it means. I don't know how it determines things, but just watching it, you were clearly like OP. Like, you Brian got his move. The Bryans had their moves, and I had some good moments. But just generally speaking, it just feels like you kick really hard and punch. It just looks like it's like kapow.
Yeah,
so people are asking, like, this was the mistake I made, is before the free preview, I gave everybody essentially a nerf. I nerfed literally every character except Scott, who got a buff.
Oh, really?
He got a ridiculous buff. So I don't remember whose moveset. I think you were Bobby Lashley is who you were based on previously.
Yeah.
And I thought about giving you, just making you Brock Lesnar and really leaning into the boss thing. And instead I went with Roman Reigns, which, now Roman Reigns is basically the biggest heel in wrestling. He's held the title for over 1,000 days. I was like, this is kind of what I'm going for with Scott, but he's at a 99 power level out of 100.
Is Roman Reigns is like Razor Ramon?
No.
No.
Oh.
Razor
I don't know.
Ramon is Razor Ramon.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but sometimes they change names. They
Yeah, I
rebrand sometimes.
Sure. No, that's
No,
cool.
but people who know will know. But basically, I took Scott from, he was at like a 91 or a 93 or something like that, and I put him at a 99. So he is stat-wise stronger than everybody else on the roster, which is what I was going for.
What's your number? Are you in the 90s or?
I think I'm 88. I used to be in the 90s, but like I said, I gave everybody a bit of a nerf, and I've dropped to 88.
But this is a good way for you to slowly kind of finesse the outcomes in a way that are entertaining, right? Like that's the plan. Is you want storylines to match up so you can finesse their power levels and
yeah,
well.
it'll be something that'll get played with and tweaked. I think the lesson I learned and took away from this event was don't do it right before the event, because it was the power level 91 John and the power level 93 Scott that got to that point. And then it was a power level 88 versus a 99 on the day of. And as a result, the match looked really disappointing. But I will say, I also, like I said, I tweaked the AI, and I actually did the match a second time, not on stream, just to see how that match would look with different AI. And it was an insanely good match that you still won, but it was a lot more entertaining. Yeah, Ben was over 9,000. Ben's second outfit for this stream was magical. I don't know if you can quickly find it.
Oh, is it somewhere in the middle?
Ben in his Super Saiyan armor was was a real sight to be seen.
How early? Who did he fight? Was he fight Randy?
He fought Randy and Tom. It was a triple threat match.
Because there's Randy the butcher. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he would be
Randy.
in there. Randy's really good. I haven't messed much with Randy. He's another one where I felt like I got it right so quick that I just haven't been willing to mess with it because it's too good.
Let's see, this Tom Merritt.
Yeah, this is the match. That's Tom.
Oh, there he is back here. Oh my gosh, dude. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's amazing.
He looks like a Doctor Who.
A Doctor Who.
Tom?
Yeah. Oh, Tom does, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit intentional. I know Tom loves Doctor Who, so
this Super Saiyan business, dude.
Like it.
The frick, I love it so much. Does Ben seen this? He knows what's up.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
I used to do a little, like, I can't really call it a web comic when it was on paper in the store, but my way of dealing with the pressures of working in retail, I used to do comics in the store, and I always drew Ben as a Super Saiyan, a secret Super Saiyan in the store when he got mad. So this is a bit of a reference to just our history, and for this I just decided to put him 100% in the armor from Dragon Ball Z. Just let him be in there like that. It looked real dumb. And
he's
real
still
good.
got his GameStop tag on his chest.
Yeah, it's Super Saiyan armor, but with a name badge from Game Store on top of it.
Oh, look at him! He brought a chair on the court in the ring, and didn't get to use it. He brought it in, just sat there. Oh, what did Tom just do to Randy? Oh my lord! All right, I got to figure out how to make my Wednesday nights easier to get in there.
Can I ask a question? Are these assets like all in game still? Like they're just in game? Or
Yeah,
mods.
Yeah, you can import
No,
them.
they're all in game. Yeah, nothing is modded. You can upload images, so there is an element of being able, because obviously like the frog wrestling and stuff.
I just wonder if you could, put, like, I don't know if there was a marketplace or like like a Nexus mod site where you could make your own items or something.
There might be. I haven't needed it though. They have like an insanely robust character creator as far as like gear and looks and all of that. So yeah, this is all using in-game assets.
And then you import, like on the belt when it has the Frog Pants logo, you just uploaded the logo and you cropped it in there and you're all good.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, this is what you're living out what they hoped and dreamed with this kind of, right? Like,
yeah, with the exception of you not actually playing the game, which is probably odd to them. You're making the character creator team over at 2K thrilled if they know about this. Like, this is what they want.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not the only person doing this. I think a lot of people do this, and people run their own leagues, and there's even a mode that's a lot more like this. Like, people have said, like, hey, if you go into this mode, and I've toyed around with it, but I like the level of control I have just doing one-on-one matches. But they actually have a mode where you can set up shows and weekly blocks, and it does scheduling for you, and it's all, again, AI generated, or you can jump in and control a character. But I think they know that this is the way a lot of people play this video game.
I think that's great.
That's crazy.
Makes me wonder what next year's will have.
It's been like, it's really good content. Like I see you go live and I'm like, I gotta swing by and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And like I'm always like, I'm like, that's AI controlled. Like I'm skeptical brain like the first minute, and then by like 3 or 4 minutes I'm rooting for one of them to win. I'm like, what's going on? Why does this work?
There's probably some lesson there about the way we. I love Ben keeps bringing shit in the ring and then not using it.
Yeah, he gets clocked every time he brings something.
Yeah, in this case, he just brought the stepper up and just plopped it down and then hasn't done anything with it. Well, partly because the other two got out of the ring, but
he's just standing there in the ring like, guys, I want to hit one of you with the steps.
I brought this up here. Can you please come in? And then he never uses it. It's too good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there's your update. Frog Wrestling, Wednesday nights, Craftless Rogue on Twitch, and, of course, on the Craftless Rogue YouTube channel later in VOD format. If you missed out on it, that's how I'm going to catch up. Anything else for either of you that you played?
I think it's just worth noting Steam Next Fest is going on. I've had a lot of people recommend games because I did do that the last time they ran it. I played a ton of demos and talked about it on the show. I kind of knew we'd go heavy on Final Fantasy this week, so I'm gonna do all my Steam Next Fest talk next week. But it only goes through the weekend, so if you want to check that out, check it out. But I'll be talking about all that stuff next week.
Check it out. Brotato 1.0 now available as the top banner, animated banner on Steam right now. I kind of love that they're giving that thing that love there. That's great. Yeah, I did a few Next Fest things as well. I didn't do as much as you did, but I'm looking forward to talking about it next week because there's some rad shit getting made. I don't know if you played Sea of Stars, the Sea of Stars demo. Did you try that?
No, not yet.
Boy, speaking of,
is that one I got to check out?
Yeah, speaking of the
download it.
It's directly inspired by Chrono Trigger, but it's this beautiful.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
beautiful pixel. I've not seen this level of amazing pixel art in a while. It's unbelievably cool looking. I hope the game is as ambitious as they claim it is, and they've been working on it forever. It was a Kickstarter originally, and it's finally getting here. So looking forward to Sea of Stars. Okay, well, let's take a break then. When we come back from this break, we're going to do some Dear Martha. A little bit different today, the way that's going to work, so stick around for that. And after that, some more news, a couple emails, and then we're good. All right? So everybody go take a pee, or whatever it is you need to do. Bo, shower and poo if you need to, and not in that order.
Shower, poo, do it all.
Yeah, do it all. And we'll be back in about 5, chat, so stay tuned.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. We're back, everybody. Welcome back to the... Oh, no, we're not. We're back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Got to record it, it turns out. We took our break, and now we're back, and we're going to do some Dear Martha. Now, no magazine this week. In fact, I'm not even sure how this is going to work. John, you want to explain?
Yeah, let me do a little introduction. It's been a while since I've done a listener recommendation, and I got one. I got one that was very... Father's Day themed, so we're still not too far from Father's Day, so I thought in the spirit of Father's Day I would read what was shared with me. It is a Reddit post, and like most Reddit posts, we're inching on the side of edgelord with this particular one, but I did find it weird, and I did think it would sound funny read in a funny voice, so this is what we're doing.
All right, here, enjoy.
My dearest Martha, Diablo IV, a game for dads. As a dad, trademark, I feel the time has come to explain to the virgins on this sub who this game is for. Dads. To understand why D4 is a game for dads, and exclusively for dads, you need to understand who dads are. First of all, by definition, dads are sex havers. At least once in any case. Many of you won't understand, but once the P goes in the V, your interest in in-game mob density is severely reduced. Second, dads are rich. Dads spend most of their time working, which is why most have only made it halfway through character creation. Also, kids are very cheap, seeing they eat much less than fully grown humans. This means dads have a lot of disposable income. So you can understand dads do not care about spending $30 to play a few days earlier or $25 for a little wolf hat. This also signals your dad status to other dads. Thirdly, dads profoundly dislike their spouses and argue with them all the time. Most of them are actually separated, although in a few rare cases they can be in a stable relationship with a cool gamer wife / fellow sex haver. Now, what is the theme of D4? Pursuing and killing a mother who got in a disagreement with a dad. We could not relate more. Finally, dads are nostalgic. They yearn for a time where video games were about having fun, not Excel spreadsheets. They don't care that the sorcerer meta is very limited. They're just happy to be casting little bolts of lightning. Unlike you, most of them are not on Adderall and can tolerate a 10-second cooldown. So, in conclusion, please stop with all of the dads versus no-lifers endless debates. This game was clearly made for dads. We have so little left. Please let us have this one. Yours in this life and the next. Gouged.
That might be the most Reddit-ass thing I've heard in months. Oh my gosh, Bo, what is on your screen? What is this? Scared the hell out of me. I just looked over.
I don't know. It's
got a little anime something going on there. I mean, look, we've talked a lot about Final Fantasy. A little anime is not going to hurt. Let it rip.
It's just a dad show.
Oh, all right. Well, there you have it.
It's a dad show.
Very, very nice. All right, let's move on to the games that we didn't. Well, no, we already did that. We're talking about news we didn't talk about yet. A few things. So we talked a little bit. Bo mentioned it. There's some weirdos mad about Diablo 4 because they have to start new characters for a season. I don't know what they expected, but
that seems like a sign of somebody who didn't research before they bought.
Yeah, or never played the game before. I don't know. That's just a weird take. But
we kind of talked about it already, but it was surprising. Like, it just hit my timeline like in a hard way. It was apparently a big controversy.
Yeah, people are upset. They want to continue. I think, you know what? Part of this is a little understandable given the breadth of the game. It's like I finished the story at 45. I have another 55 levels to go before this character is technically maxed. That does seem like a lot more room to do things than just start another one you're going to build overnight or in 3 hours.
Again, it's the difference between having ARPG syndrome and not, because you look at that RPG and you're like, I'm playing a role. This is my character. I've invested time in it. I want to see him progress. And, when you have ARPG syndrome, you realize the character is just a mannequin through which to drop your Excel spreadsheet functions on top of, basically.
Right.
So, yeah.
To make your numbers go up. Yep.
To make big defense.
Yep. So that'll be how that'll work, and how some of the specifics work are still a question to me. We talked about that earlier too, about when
yeah,
will I see new
they're
content?
Blizzard's clarifying as well on how it's going to work, and just for clarity's sake, you can have the debate as to whether or not Diablo 4 is a good game for starting over or not, but like if you didn't think they were going to do it, I feel like you've not been paying attention.
Including in the story, like the presumption's right there. It's like you go through this epic slog to make a world stone. You're like, everybody gonna trap Lilith? Maybe we should trap Mephisto. And every time you lose it, everyone's like, well, you could just kill him. Like, we're doing like there's so many times you're like, well, yeah, I guess maybe you're here because you'll just kill Lilith.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll just kill Mephisto. Like, your role here is like, you pretty much kill everything. I don't know why you're not plan A and you're plan B.
Yeah.
But you're plan B.
Yep.
That's
typical Blizzard
like, you don't really have like a functional agency in the story apart from being the person that inexplicably can kill everything with zero character development.
It's the Blizzard way. It's how they do your character. They do it in WoW. They do it here. That's how they do it. Yeah. All right. We also have, I guess the one exception would be StarCraft, right? Because you're not a character in that.
Well, yeah, I would say it's the ARPG way. I mean, you can play any ARPG. Like it's the format, right? Like you don't go to League of Legends and go like, "What? That match was only 30 minutes. I was really invested in my Garen.
Yeah.
I'm Garen. Why do I got to start a level 1 again?
Yeah.
I gained 18 levels last match and got to KDA of 25, and now I'm just a scrub all over. What's going on?" You know, it's the same thing. You got to think of it a little bit that way. It's a genre issue.
I get loving your first, though. I get the idea of like your first is your, like you're going to love your 100.
Like your story playthrough, right? Like,
right.
This is my character, right?
But,
yeah.
But,
like,
and that's okay. It's totally fine. But you know, you have slots.
I just think
so you don't have to.
I think someone's got to explain and introduce that to you. And sometimes people hear that, they go, "That sounds crazy."
Yeah.
You know, like it's so the concept is so foreign and so weird, and I think that's the toughest selling point on ARPGs in general, is sort of explaining why that's fun. And I just think you won't convert everybody.
Yeah, that's true, and that's okay. They made a great story for people that are probably this was good enough for them. They're good now.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it's excellent campaign.
Yeah, so they can go on the rest of their lives. Let's move on to Nintendo Direct. Oh, we talked about that. Let's talk about 4-player co-op and Vampire Survivors. What's new about this? I thought you could already do that. No? Oh, a vampire. You know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Vampire. What's the other one we play when you had a server for it?
V-Rising.
Rising. I was thinking V-Rising had 4-player, and I'm like, no, it already did.
Yeah. That has like a many players co-op on the network. Like,
I'm an idiot. Vampire. Let me know when it comes to Brotato, by the way. But yes, Vampire Survivors finally getting their co-op multiplayer for 4 players.
I really just want to know what John thinks, if this like messes with the purity of VS or if it's a good addition.
I mean, sure, for people that want to, like, if you, let's say you had a misguided friend that for some reason didn't think Vampire Survivors was the best one of these games.
I knew this was
like
coming.
It is a nice way that you could hold their hand into these scary waters of the best one of these, so they could know what the benchmark for quality is instead of bringing up a bunch of subpar experiences.
That sounds like we're gonna have a John and Scott Vampire Survivors stream sometime soon. Even I'll play.
I'd co-op in this, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
It might be the only way I want to play
feel like
this
we
one.
Should.
Yeah, I can deal with how ugly it is when I've got friends around. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's the mentality.
Yeah.
How does that? The thing I'm curious about is, how does everyone see their characters when everyone's making?
I don't know that. I don't know. I have no idea how it works. Like, jokes at Scott's expense aside, I have no idea how this works. I feel like when I play by myself, it is a miracle that the game is still supporting what I'm doing. You add 3 more people to that, all in the same boat, and I think, well, this ends with the total collapse of the planet. I don't get how we get there, but you know what? Hey, it might be fun. It's worth a try.
It says you'll be able to switch between single player and this multiplayer co-op seamlessly, like right there as you're playing. People can hop in. It does not say whether it's split screen or if you're all on one screen. Yeah, they don't get into that. Oh, so no split screen. It says all players will always be visible on the same screen. How that's going to work, they haven't revealed, says the article. My guess is camera zooms out. Yeah, camera will zoom out, more sprites on screen. Look, these are shit sprites. It'll be fine. It'll run fine. Because these, I mean, how much data is really
These are shit sprites.
I mean, for real, there's nothing going. This isn't like a bunch of polygon data. It's just a bunch of sprites. Shitty little sprites. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to put a positive spin, because usually look, I still hear about things getting developed in a weekend. Okay, like I feel like I'm gonna they're gonna put on my gravestone almost, like he died in the weekend. You know, like, like the number of people who drop by my Twitch stream or whatever, like it's gonna haunt me forever.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of it, Scott. I think I should recommend you stay out of the shit sprite.
Do you want to
let them have their Vampire Survivors?
Do you have a preference? Do you have a preference as to what day of the week you die? Have you ever thought about that? Does it matter?
It's a good question.
I want to go on a Thursday night. Thursday night, not because of Core or anything.
Why a Thursday?
I don't know. I just like that day.
Yeah, I don't, because like I said,
I mean, it depends if it's a good death.
I don't know how I would handle you dying on the show, Scott.
Well, I don't want to die on stream. I don't want that.
Okay.
But if I die on a Thursday outside, let's say it's after the show, I don't know why I was so tired on the show tonight. I don't know what's going on, and I die. I just kick the bucket.
Yeah.
I like a Thursday night for some reason. Don't know why.
Oh, I don't want to diss Thursday night too much because it is Core night, but traditionally I have always said everything bad around a Thursday.
Really?
Because Thursday is the worst day of the week.
Oh, that's interesting. I've always felt like it's a pretty good day of the week. That's interesting.
I don't think it's good because I feel like, okay, right? What are your great days of the week? For a general working person, like, just to be clear, there's plenty of jobs that work different days and all of that. But if you're a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday person, what are the good days of the week? It's Friday night, but that's not Friday.
Right.
That's Friday night.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Those are your key days.
Right.
Monday, you still got, like, Mondays suck. Garfield's not wrong, but you've at least got energy coming off that weekend.
Yeah.
You've got momentum. I would also accept Tuesday as a bad day, but it's early enough in the week that, like, it's fine. Like, it's kind of a nothing day. It's still very early. Wednesday is your big hump day. Hey, we're halfway there. You can all kind of celebrate. But what's Thursday got for it? It's not quite Friday. It's like...
Yeah.
It's not the middle of the week, so you can't celebrate being in the middle of the week. It's not close enough to the weekend that you should actually be happy about it. I've always said it's like celebrating Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, Christmas Eve is tomorrow. Hot damn.
Yeah.
Nobody does that because it doesn't make sense. Like, I get why you would be happy on Friday, because if you get through that one more day, you're to the weekend. But Thursday is just a celebration to another damn work day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we are making Thursdays better. You're welcome.
Yeah. You have us to thank for the better Thursday that you're having, because Core makes it better.
Now I've revealed that I've spent way too much time thinking about this.
Also, it's Friday, which is funny because we're talking about this on the day.
Friday, yeah,
today is Friday. I hope your Friday nights are okay. All right, let's move on. Where were we? What were we doing? Oh, we were talking about other news. Let's see. Twitch adds content labels. Also, they have now super chats like YouTube does, and all the YouTube people are like,
they got super chats now.
Yeah, they stole it. Well, I don't know,
50% or 70% of that.
They're doing 70-30 on those, but it's only for partner
1% of the streamer base.
Well, it's
that
for
partner plus program applies to 1% of the streamer.
Yeah,
base.
it's something like that. So that's the thing. They got stuff. They got a funny one in here about required. One requiring kissing and licking to be labeled as sexual themes.
Yeah, that's the only reason I added it. Is I just like the idea that that's a category. It's a gaming website. There's a kissing and licking category.
So if I was on Twitch right now and I licked this golf ball on the air, I'm not going to. But if I did, would I have to tag it as sexual?
Tag it as kissing and licking.
Would. Yeah.
Even though I was like, oh, there's a little bit of caramel on this Wilson golf ball.
Yeah.
Look, if your tongue exits the lips,
because people know what you're really doing, Scott.
If you go this,
people know that there wasn't caramel, delicious caramel on that golf ball.
Because someone finds that attractive. You might be like, that's just somebody going, oogie boogie boogie boo. Yeah. But someone's gonna find that it's sexual.
So even if your tongue exits the perimeter of your lips.
I feel it's the safest rules to make, because there's a whole meta on Twitch about like, okay, you set a rule, I find the loophole.
Yeah.
Or I find the edge to where I can make it as sexual as possible while still obeying all the rules. Not that I'm gonna say the name of the streamer just because we were gonna mention the next article, but like Diablo 4 is huge. A lot of people streaming. When I was just checking out some other streams, Amaranth is on there. Fine, like I don't care how you're dressed or whatever, but she's literally sitting legs spread with her camera like she's got clothes on, but like her vajayjay is just like on display, right? Like if I sat like that, like my balls would fall out of my shorts or whatever, right? Like it's that kind of a pose, and I'm like, do you need to sit like that while you're gaming? Like I don't want to get like shouted down for being a sex hater or whatever. No. But like
you can be honest about this.
If I'm coming by to watch your Diablo stream, whether you're man or woman, don't need to involve clothed genitalia.
But that's
most streamers
that's
are
what
chest
the purpose
up.
of that stream
That's the point of it.
You know what I mean?
I know that
that's like
it's funneled
what
to
you
the
sound like
OnlyFans.
right now is somebody watching a rated R movie and going, I just don't know why they gotta take their clothes off.
No,
I don't have the same story. I
don't really have a problem with it. All right, it's just a thing. It's a game that, like, if I'm working at Twitch it's a game. You can't ignore it because people keep pushing boundaries to a point where it's inappropriate. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure,
There's an incentive to keep finding to be more titillating than the next titillating person, and it's just a constant like arms race all the time. And then it's like you're being too prudish. Okay, when you're being too like you can't win.
No.
Either way.
But
so
didn't
all
Amaranth,
that to say, but yeah,
didn't Amaranth leave? She's over at Kick now, right?
No, these deals.
She's
So
doing both.
they're not.
Like, that's
they're
the
not
crazy
exclusive.
part.
Oh, they're non-exclusive. So
They're
she's
not
co-streaming
because
yeah.
if we learn our Mixer lesson, if you just abandon the site entirely, you can't bring them over with you.
Yeah.
So the next article here is XQC. This is kind of monumental. I'm like, we have to include it. I don't really like adding these as things, but like he got 100 million for 2 years, non-exclusive, to stream on Kick and Twitch from Kick. And apparently it's more than that. There's some drama around how that information was released. And he's a extrovert. He just mentioned it's more than 100 million.
He makes more than LeBron
beating
James
out
does.
LeBron James is this thing, which is just like, you know, I realize gamers are like, you know, it's like saying they look like idiots or sound like idiots it's just going to look bad on me for the most part because people like them and you just sound like a jealous hater or whatever. But like, he's not a very smart guy. And he's, you know, like it's LeBron, you might not like him. He's talented. I don't think, you know, is he talented at video games? It's just like, I've heard the guy talk. I've watched. I'm like, I got brain damage from listening to it. Like, it's not, but hey, other people like it, so fair enough. But 100 million's crazy.
It's because Kick has all that gambling money. They got a ton of it. By the way,
that's
very
the
first
other thing that's like hit like a huge head, right? Which is like, it's like, it basically Kick is Vegas. So you can go see Britney Spears because you like Britney Spears in Vegas, or Celine Dion, and then maybe you'll stay for some gambling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like
Like
run the slots. Yeah, exactly.
And I personally, actually, I think the end result, I don't have a problem with that. Like I think there was kind of an issue because of like you want to have rules around this shit, and I have a problem with like the lack of rules about hitting young kids or affecting people. But you know, I'll play poker on PokerStars. Like I don't really have. They're games.
I don't care.
I
find gambling
to be
a
like
complete waste of
regulated.
time, but other people who like it, it's fine. Let them like it. I don't care.
But with everything that's going on Twitch, with these two big names moving over, I'm starting to think like, 95.5 sounds great.
Yeah, the split is crazy.
I got so I not to talk numbers, but like I got the most subs I ever got during playing this Diablo thing. I'm gonna like pull in like $1,000. I've never pulled in that much money. Off Twitch. Yeah. Half of that's going to Twitch.
Oh yeah.
And that makes me feel bad. Like because people were just here like, I like you, I support your content, you're doing something awesome. They're not gonna come back and give that kind of money again, I don't think. Like, and half of it goes to Twitch. And I mean that's why we have the Patreon. Like they're gonna take PayPal, Patreon, they're gonna take some money. That's how it goes.
Everybody gets their ounce of blood,
50 is egregious. It really is egregious.
It's high.
And I was watching a YouTuber today who was saying like something similar was kind of percolating. Remember Vine?
Yeah.
You're a big Vine fan, eh?
I remember Vine. Yeah.
So the top creators did end up leaving, like saying pay us or we leave. And then after the top 18 left, views went down, and that's when Vine shut down.
Yeah, that's why they shut down.
And I'm almost wondering if like this is kind of trending in that direction. Like, what if like Twitch just gets absolutely? I don't think they'll shut down because Amazon owns it, but we may see Twitch get gutted in the next little while because of the huge drain on viewership.
There's a bunch of that
because they're
going on.
non-exclusive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's a bunch of that going on. The thing I was going to say about that, what was it? I just this is anecdotal and it's just me, okay? But I can tell you, my very first month away from Twitch and doing YouTube entirely was higher. I got more revenue there than I did at my best month on YouTube on Twitch. So for whatever that's worth, it's been nothing but a good move for me. It's not for everybody. In fact, I think there are probably people heading over to Kick where it's the right move for them. This XQC guy, the only reason I question his smartness is apparently one of the first things he did when he went over there was stream a film. I think it was Batman Dark Knight to his viewers of 20,000 or something. Just a copyrighted film. Here you go. Let's just watch it. And the Kick people had to like bust in there and go, dude, you can't come over here and just do copyright stuff, and he's like,
there's like a push and pull between.
Not that wild of the West.
No, not exactly.
Well, I think there's like a thread, right? Like you create a new service, people push the rules, and you got to start making rules, and you become uncool, and you end up like Twitch again, or whatever. Like I think there's like what's that? There's like a shakeup period happening right now, and like opportunities are made, and now I'm like looking at it, going like, I've invested a lot. I've been streaming on Twitch for 10 years, and I like my following, and it means a lot to me what I've built on that channel. But
yeah, of course it does.
50 like that. The generous donating, love you guys. Thank you so much. I feel horrible that Twitch is like taking half. For what have they done for me?
Yeah.
No, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm in a similar boat. I mentioned this last week. I turned off ads because I felt like ads were giving people.
You can do that?
Yeah. I felt like it was giving people a bad experience.
To
Apparently,
show me where
some
that
will
Twitch is.
still slip in there. Somebody mentioned an ad yesterday. I said I'm supposed to have them off, and they said it was because they refreshed the stream, and sometimes I guess ads can creep in
that
there
happens
if you
no
do
matter
that.
what. Yeah.
But I disabled them. I know how much of my revenue, which is already not a lot from Twitch, that cut out, and it was sizable. Like, as much as people hate ads, it was counting for about a third of what I was making on Twitch. And so it hurts to turn that off. But I also I think the content that makes to have it on is bad. And so I look at that and I go, all right, well, I've lost a third of my revenue because I decided to turn ads off to make the streams better, which in turn I do think has been reflected because more people have been coming to the streams. So I am getting more support there. But then you also say, okay, well, 50% of that is going to Twitch. And it's rough, man. It sucks. It sucks to see. And I like Twitch like you. I like the community there. I like, especially for these wrestling streams, the channel point system is a dumb way to do harmless betting around a thing where it's like, it's just for fun. And I love that sort of stuff, but you have to step back at a certain point and go, man, there's just more value in other places, whether that's the split with Kick or, YouTube. You and I have both said, you convinced me to get the YouTube Premium, and it's my favorite sub that I have, and now I don't get ads on anybody's stream.
Yeah, no, it's ad-free experience. You get music for free. Yeah. It's amazing. I love mine too.
YouTube's I've really become a real YouTube head.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good for what you're putting out there content.
And like our
so
streams, like Scott's already said, it's been great. But like even our streams, all of our audiences come with us. Our streams are on par with what we did before, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know,
it's only
man.
Grown for me over
it
here.
Feels like every week we're gonna take another Twitch L. For like, I just have no reason to expect to feel like I'm gonna feel good about Twitch if I just hold on 1 week longer. So I've said some I don't like the cryptocurrency side of things, but at the same time I'm feeling more and more Kick curious, if you will.
Yeah. Someone in the chat says Twitch will sue them for stealing their source code. I don't know that that's a thing.
Well, no, they're in a contract with Amazon services. So this is how.
Do they do AWS?
Gambling.
They're using AWS as their backend, though. I didn't know that. I thought they used.
They have a contract with Amazon. It's basically what they've done is they've added an extra layer between streaming gambling directly on Twitch versus just you make your own site. It's still the same infrastructure. They have a contract on the back end. You're basically on Kick. It's basically Twitch, and like a contract with Twitch, like with Amazon rather, not with Twitch, but with Amazon, which is
weird.
All the same. So you're basically like, it's not like you're leaving Amazon when you're with Kick. Like it's just they can do more, I guess, adult oriented things like the hot tub streams and all this sort of mature content.
Yeah.
And then Twitch Twitch can police in their own way their streams or whatever it is they're doing. I think basically as a result Twitch is suffering because they clearly they just don't have the investment, the willingness to invest in the same way Kick is currently, and I think that's good. The trend is going to continue. Mm-hmm. They've said before, like their spokesperson is, I don't know if he's the best example of an ambassador, but that Trainwrecks guy is, a spokesperson for it. He's kept saying, "You just wait to see the contracts we have." He's put his money where his mouth is. They've been jaw dropping, especially the last couple of weeks. They say there's more coming. So I think Twitch is like about to get gutted in a pretty big way. And the one content creator, this is like this Heller guy. He was on Vine, but they were saying like the same thing happened with Vine. Like top, it doesn't mean it's going to happen here, but all the top people left for YouTube or other places, like I guess Instagram and stuff, and Vine shut down. Because you think like, oh, I'm next in line, so I'll get all the viewers. Nope, the audiences leave with their favorite personalities. Right? You all came over to YouTube. You weren't like, no, they're off Twitch now. The next Core Junior is going to take over on Twitch because of us or whatever.
You know what happened actually is the opposite across the board. I had more people say, "Oh, I'm so glad you came over here. I like this. This works better. I'm here all the time anyway, and I prefer it." And this, there were a couple people like, "Ah, the chat's not as robust," or the whatever. I get that. There's going to be changes, but I was surprised how smooth and positive it was. It wasn't. I was ready for a headache, and it didn't happen. It's been great.
Yeah, I think some people have some outdated views on YouTube streaming and stuff, and that's still a challenge for YouTube to like.
Yeah, they have a marketing.
The live
PR
streaming
issue.
is still not great. Like they need to. That could be better, but overall, it's better. It's just better if you're giving financially through the site. It's already better. If I give to a creator, I want to know the most amount of money as possible is going to the creator and not to the intermediary.
Yeah.
50 is like a huge. 50 is a steep cut, man.
Yeah. And my
Epic
shorts,
and Steam don't even ask for 50. Like nobody asks for 50.
Nobody does.
About it, I'm like, who asks
does.
for 50? Like that's almost like diseased, like a brain amount.
No, that's like a guy in a movie who's like, "Hey, we do this 50-50. Yeah, we do it 50-50. No, 60-40. No, 50." It feels like an argument point to do it at 50-50. It sucks.
Yeah,
sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty much you're getting. I don't know, drained pretty hard. Like I'm just trying to think
50-50 just so I can throw everything up on YouTube anyway, because who the hell goes to Twitch for VODs?
Nobody does.
You know?
Their VOD system is it's barely VODs. It's more like, hey, this will be here for 30 days unless someone marks it, and probably won't, and good luck and have fun, and it sucks kind of, and you can't embed it well, and like they're not even close on that end of it, which is another thing that's really benefited me. Shorts have been a big deal for me in terms of revenue. I was shocked by that, but they're big. And all I got to do is put up a couple of those a week. It's like, hey, here's me and John being freaked out in Resident Evil, and here's a moment where I freaked out and shot the big white blobby guy in the basement, shot him in the penis, and that thing got like 4,000 views like right away, and actually brought in my revenue. It's just like there's just more opportunity. Plus, I can micromanage how ads work, so there'll be ads in shows for people who don't have premium. But you can say, I don't want any non-skippables. You can turn that off. You can say, I don't want any skippables if you don't want them. And you just have a little more.
The features are more robust for sure on YouTube versus Twitch. Yeah.
So anyway,
so the reason I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I'm considering a shift myself too after what happened with like. I feel like bad about that Diablo money, man. Like. You know, no regrets. Everyone knows the situation, so no, it's okay. But like, and I think it's just one of those things where we have to like sometimes you don't like who's investing in a product, and you have moral issues about it. But we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Nobody's hands are completely clean. It's like you got to choose where to make your home for this kind of thing. And I think I'm trying to read the tea leaves, and I think like kick might be it. So I don't know.
Well, it also goes back to what what we were talking about earlier and what I said. Don't pick favorites in companies.
Well, that's true too.
They don't have even if they're doing good things, they don't have your best interests at heart.
Right. That's always, definitely true. By the way, the highest kick stream right now is something called Friday Night Lights with a couple of dudes. I don't know.
Are they watching TV show?
I don't know what they're doing. Let's just check real quick.
Oh, that's Aiden Ross. You don't know who Aiden Ross is?
I don't know who that is. No idea.
Yeah, he's a young. I think he was a GTA streamer, and then he just became a personality. This guy's done like tons of controversial shit. He's one of those Manosphere guys who loves Andrew Tate and.
Oh shit! Well, goodbye.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got 50,000 viewers. They're chatting.
Yeah,
it's like you hate it, but it's like. Well, people are watching. Like,
oh no!
Send your hate to the viewers, right?
The way you want to, if you want to boost your clout, doing dick stuff really helps. I've learned.
Yeah,
and I just can't do it.
Let's do some dick stuff.
You know what I mean? Like pranks and mean shit and just awful takes. Like,
yeah,
you can
I
do
think
that.
he's I know a little bit because I follow the drama shit. The unfortunately. But I think he's trying to recoup his image a bit. He hit a real low point. But people, that's the other part of live streaming that isn't gaming. The part of live streaming that's just into the parasocial and the drama and crazy shit. Like, that'll always get big. Creators who do that will get big views.
I think Core should start an OnlyFans, and we should do nothing in there but super not naked stuff, just like boring video game shit, but it's all on OnlyFans. Let's do it.
I thought I saw some ads for OnlyFans for doing TV shows.
You can do anything in there. You can do anything you want in there, including, I mean, obviously it's known for its adult content, but you could go in there and have a completely like, I make crochet. Here's Kirby. See you next week. I mean, you could do whatever you want.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a porn service. It turned into one because that's how everybody used it. And they even tried to end that.
Yeah, I was going to say they tried to get rid of it. They tried to stop. And they realized, no, not a good idea.
Or Cameo. Bo will say a funny thing. Bo will do a lake run while you watch. Here it is.
Oh shit! You should jump into the VR chat category on Kick. It looks wild.
Really? Oh my lord! Is there a whole category?
Yeah, it's a whole category of probably men with their sexiest female avatars that they can come up with. It's kind of wild.
Sweet.
I say probably, but maybe. Let's see. Hot Cyber Bunny plays Slutty Witch House.
Is there a category called VR? Hold on, I gotta.
Yeah, VR. If you go to Kick, go to categories.
Yeah, I'm in
and then
there.
like expand out the view and scroll. Has about 1,000 viewers in VR chat.
Okay, let me go down here. Where's the category?
All right, you want me to send you a link to
in
one?
In some ways, yeah, put one into the thing. In some ways, Kick is basically Twitch, but in some ways, it's like, what are they doing here?
We got Lich Bait.
Oh, this girl sitting here in her
Let
panties.
me take care of you, master. And it's like okay.
Shut up, dude. Okay, let's see what we got. Lich Bait. Oh my gosh, dude, what is going on in here? All right, let's turn this up. Where's okay?
I think she's dancing. We might get DMC'd for the
okay.
music,
So
maybe.
there's music going on. She's walking around in a little bunny thing, VR bunny thing. So what's the point of this? Oh, she got a lot of viewers.
Oh, she's dancing. She probably has motion trackers on the waist wrists.
Oh, it's one
yeah,
of
and that's
those.
an AI voice talking, so it's definitely a dude.
Okay. Is she talking
it's
now?
definitely AI voice generation. That's a dude and a girl avatar being sexy for 357 people. And you know what? Bless you, sir, ma'am.
People keep saying, "My queen, can you play us a song?" And I'm like, that guy's name is Carl. He's not
This guy has more viewers than me on an average day. Maybe I should get some hot female avatars in VR chat and shake my ass for
But
money.
don't change your voice. Just
I got
be
95-5 split, baby.
You do your, but just be like lady. Do a voice as Bo doing a lady voice though. You'd be
Video
going,
game.
hello.
I can't talk like a lady. Hello, everyone.
Nobody would know. Let's just do it.
Hold on. Let me close my eyes. Do it again.
Take a load off. Why don't you sit here? Tell me about your day.
Nope.
It's not sexy, my soft voice. Just close your eyes.
No.
Nope, it's not working.
My voice.
It's not working.
As long as Bo doesn't kiss or lick the microphone, we don't
you
have
feel
to tag
that?
this.
Oh my
Nope.
gosh, you made it.
Let me just give you a little massage.
You're making it worse. What if you lick it? You better tag it.
There's somebody listening who's like, okay, I'm going to become a patron somehow.
Yeah, Bo just got us more patrons.
It's really great. That's amazing.
I tried. I can't do female voice, but maybe there's a voice changer out there. Who knows?
Who knows? All right. Well, let's get to
but if not, I'll use AI. I can just type my shit. Actually, the way you could do it is you speak. You get speech to text.
Yeah.
Then you send the text to the AI software.
Yeah.
And then it reads it out on OBS.
Yeah, it would work. It would.
I don't even have to type it out.
It wouldn't be 100% real time, but it'd be close. You know.
Yeah, but you do the best you can when you're in VR chat.
Yeah, you do all. It's a rough place. It's a Wild West place. You know, you're lucky to be alive.
I'm too busy looking at my jigglies to really pay attention to my mouth, anyways. So it's all good.
I don't want to think about Bo's jigglies. All right.
Yeah, no, I don't either. They're not good. It's not good.
Oh, final news note. Almost forgot. EVE Online now has Microsoft Excel integration, which is the ultimate in meme becomes real. I think feels like everyone calls EVE Online a spreadsheet. Well, guess what? It's now integrated, or has integrated Microsoft Excel integration, which I don't understand how that works. I assume it's Office 365 somehow. and you can do your EVE Online shit through Excel if you want to. Ding. Congratulations.
All right.
Time for correspondence, everybody. That's time. That's the time we have. Hold on.
That's
there
a
it
good
is.
question.
It's the time we have to read your emails and your texts and that kind of stuff. We got an email here. talktothecore@gmail.com is the email address from Peter, who says, now that Diablo 4 is out, do you ever see yourselves going back to Diablo 3? Peter. No. Not really. I mean...
No, I didn't see myself going back to Diablo 3 before Diablo 4 was out.
Yeah.
I did that last season, and I was like, boy, I've played a lot of Diablo 3. I think I have, when you wring a towel out, and you're like, surely I can get a little more out of this towel, and you squeeze it, and just nothing happens.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with Diablo.
And that is
3.
not
That
us
was
calling
before Diablo 4.
And that's not you and I calling Diablo 3 a bad game at all. This is us saying that is such a great game that we played the living shit out of it. There's nothing about
I wrung
D3.
that towel for a reason. Yeah.
It's all dry now. There's nothing left there to do. Now, if you told me some day down the road and I'm feeling nostalgic, hey, we're going, the year is 2065, and they're bringing back Diablo 3 in a whole new way or something, talk to me then. But right now, it's like, why? Why would you?
How old are you going to be in 2065?
We'll see. Nick will be 65. I would be dead. Hold on. I can't do the math. How many years away from us is that?
65?
It's 35 years from now?
42 years from now.
42 years. Yeah, I'm not going to live that long. There's no way. I could, but I won't. Who would? Who's going to live that long? We'll
On
all
a
be
matter
dead.
of principle, I'm not going to live
42
that long.
years, I'd be like 86 or 7.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to be there. We're done unless there's big medical advances, and then maybe we live longer a bit. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll say something closer to 2035. How about that? It's about 15 years.
If somebody asked me tomorrow, I'd say no.
Yeah, that is the truth. Anyway, Peter.
You never know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people live to their 90s or their centenarian.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to.
I mean, I couldn't imagine playing Diablo in my 90s. Like, I feel like I'd break my fingers.
Yeah.
Needs to be in quality of life, because I don't know if I want to live that long.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I know how I feel right now in my 30s.
Yeah.
Imagine how good VR chat's going to be.
If I do an exponential growth on how I feel into my 90s, I'm pretty sure I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about it sometimes.
I want to see what VR chat's like and stuff.
Well,
check out the Apple headset will finally be affordable when I'm 90.
Yeah, inflation will have caught up to it.
Finally.
Yeah, if they keep it at the same price.
Let me try one of these.
Waiting 40 years to play finally on the Apple
no,
VR.
I've gone blind.
The next 10 are going to be
the
interesting.
hubris.
Yeah, the hubris. The next 10 will be interesting. Years, I mean. I think we're in for a real interesting decade. 2033 will be crazy. Peter, thank you for that. Quick text here. This came to 801-471-0462. This is from Midwest Mint. All right, like a little mint that came from the Midwest. Hey, Scott, Bo, and John. This is for Core. So there's a clarification on the rather confusing Xbox and PC game ownership conversation you had last week. So Xbox has what they call Play Anywhere games. Those are games that if you buy them on the Xbox PC store, it will show up on the console and vice versa. And they have cross-save. Basically, all first-party Xbox games, since they announced it in 2016, are Play Anywhere. But for third-party games, it is a game-by-game basis. Hope that helps clear things up. Midwest Mint. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't go check and see what third-party games I might own in that way, but it makes sense that maybe some do.
I don't buy a lot of stuff on the Xbox game store. I think that's why I don't have a lot of room to experiment. I've got one, and I made sure. So I actually knew this, but I had forgotten it since I did it. But I knew this when I bought Yakuza that it would work.
Oh,
which is why I bought it on
those.
the Microsoft store.
Gotcha.
But I don't buy a lot of games on the Microsoft store because if I'm buying it on the PC, I'm gonna buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if there's a lot of room to experiment when you don't actually have a reason to buy it on their store. I mean, like they really need to figure out how to just put it on Steam.
I think I expressed some confusion about this though in previous weeks, and they were clearing it up, right?
Yeah, they're just clearing it up because we weren't sure how it
so
worked.
some games are Play Anywhere games, and some are not.
I have a list of them. I'm not going to read them all, but there's a bunch. Like Aliens Fireteam Elite is one that you can do that with. See if there's another one that we know here.
TMNT.
Oh yeah, that's one for sure. That was on Game Pass as well, but yeah.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat is. Like, I can definitely play Mortal Kombat on my Xbox or PC.
Yeah,
11.
And that's when you bought, right? You purchased it.
I did. I purchased it because it was $5 on the Xbox sale.
Yeah, now you.
So one thing I will say, there's kind of some unhinged sales sometimes on Xbox.
Yeah,
like Witcher for $3 and stuff. I think I already owned Mortal Kombat, and I bought it again for like nothing on the Xbox store.
It's actually
and
lot
now I can
of
play it on
these.
PC.
There's a ton of these, like Echoes of Elusive Age, Dragon Quest 11.
Ori and the Blind Forest, which I own.
Yeah, these are all on those.
Definitive Edition. It's also crossplay, but like Cyberpunk, which I bought on Xbox, is not crossplay, and that's what I was, bitching about basically.
Dirt 5, Demon's Tale. There's a lot of good ones on here. Yeah, it's
Although
actually
I own
seems
it
like
twice.
it's more.
I bought it on GOG and I bought it on Xbox.
It's more third-party supported than I thought, but most of their first-party games are there as well. Anyway, all the Forzas, Gears games, Gears Tactics is that way, Guacamelee 2, Halos, all the Halos. Anyway, yeah, it looks like they actually tried to do more of that than I thought. So credit where it's due, I guess. Good job, Microsoft. Do it with everyone. Okay, that's it for emails. No mashup today. He's got some stuff going on, so 2 weeks from now we'll get a new mashup. And I can't wait to see what he comes up with.
There's no rush.
No rest for the weary. Yeah, that's right. Jamie works hard on these things. So we'll wait. We'll be patient. In the meantime, we'd like you to head over to Core's Patreon. And the reason we ask you guys for this, we were just talking earlier about monetization and how to make things work. If you want to see more Core stuff more often, and you want to see the three of us not just survive with this show, but thrive with this show, then I would encourage you to head over there because it is the best way to give the most to your favorite podcast. Patreon.com/Core Show is where it is. And I'd like to welcome Ben Hammer, the Nalick, Zach Blum, and Benjamin Sorry. It's not sorry like Canadian sorry. It's Sari. They all joined us in the last week, and we love having them here, along with everybody else who are already patrons. You'll never get commercials or ads. You'll get pre-show content every week, and you'll get monthly benefits that you can only get through the Patreon. You want special host specials? Mine's coming up in July. Well, of course you do. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but it'll be awesome. I promise. John's was great this last month. Bo's was great. They're always great. If you want that stuff, you want monthly art in the mail. Oh my gosh, too many things to even mention. Check it out, patreon.com/Core Show. You're doing August. I got July. Okay. So you got like a whole month or more. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget frogpants.com/core for everything you're looking for. And keep those emails and those texts and those voicemails coming. We really appreciate it. Let's throw it over to Grandma. Oh, we got anime up on Bo's screen again. Let's go over to Grandma and let her sum up what we played this week. Grandma, take it away.
Well, if you want to know what the boys played this week, it's like 3 things. So you got a real bad memory if you couldn't figure it out, but they played Final Fantasy XVI. Listen to the irony. And they played Diablo IV. And Scott played Final Fantasy VII Remake. He didn't talk a lot about it. So you might be saying, I don't remember that part of the show. Well, he didn't really do it, but I'm mentioning it because it's on the show notes. Yeah. John played WWE 2K23, of course, as usual, and that's it. That's the whole list.
Yeah, that's small compared to usual, but, big games, small list. That's what we say here on the Core Show. Anyway, we'd like to see you here again next week. If you'd like to watch the show live, we usually do it on Thursdays. Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time at frogpants.tv is where you'll find it live. And you can find all our archives up there as well. That's going to do it for us. For me, for Bo, for John. We'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
All this for a midnight chat. Well, let's chat then.
Oh, Sid. Sid's always